Hello, and welcome to Toronto Public Library Style Story. Please listen carefully. If you wish to hear a story for younger children. Bonjour, je m'appelle Donna et je vais vous raconter une histoire. Au secours, maman. Écrite par Robert Munch, illustrée par Michael Marchenko et traduite en français par Raymond de Lombard.
That's way too quiet.
Benjamin veut apporter quelque chose de très particulier en classe pour l'activité.
Well, that's not gonna fucking work. I can barely fucking hear that. Oh, fuck. I was gonna go for the French story, but
Fish gang, and I 6 hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. Fish gang, and I 6 hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. Fish gang, and I 6 hey, I'm a motherfucking nigga for life. Fish gang, like I told ya, this is for my motherfucking soldiers. My blacks on my 18s on my real yosers. Focus, raise them up. Focus, we don't give a fuck. Got niggas on the come up. Fuck with us, then you die. Fuck with us, then you die. Real niggas make real moves. Consequences, cautious. I'm in the gang. Listen up, banks nigga. On the way, black cloud. Nigga mate's been catching since 18. Otero, shot me. And I 6. Hey, I'm a
I'm satisfied with nothing today.
Tatted on my face, it's banging all around. So bow down with the real niggas in the town. Yo, fuck, I'm a nigga. Where the bitch hell, bow down, it's the back part. Tatted on my face, it's banging all around. So bow down with the real niggas in the town. In the streets, you prepare when it takes you. Some situations can make you or break you. But fuck that shit, I'm a nigga for life. The day I got patched up, real niggas for life. Show black, I see little. Sometimes ride, sometimes 40s, hard times out of little. Hard places, gotta make placed up. Nigga mates been fake chasing every day. Life flags is empty, but it's okay, I'm still here. Vegas, grind up, NFL, we folded up. We young niggas rising up. Patch members, show fuck my black cars with same storms. Through the storm and through the war. Niggas for life, niggas support. See them up, we kill them up. Take this patch, motoring up. Yo, fuck a hotel. Representing everything. Bow down the town, wait in your town, ladder, prep. Show black, we found out. Show black, we found out. No fuck, motherfucking nigga. Hear the bitch now, bow down, this the black bar. Tatted on my face, it's banging all around. So bow down with the Ludicrous how I bow down, it's the back part. Tested on my face, it's banging all around. Bow down with the niggas in your town, in your town. BPAT is what you see, what you see is what you get, and what you get is chin check. When you come around that way, you gon' feel the full effect of a crazy ass nigga run my blade across your neck. Angel shit real quick, I hold it down for the fist. This black power motherfucker, we be up in this bitch. Yeah, you see us on the hustle, we be trying to get rich. It's this gang to the death, know that I never switch. I'm 18, nigga, never taking it lightly. Fuck 'em up, think they mighty, but none of them wanna fight me. You don't believe me, come try me, your fucking ass will be dying. See your mama, she crying, but she kiss you goodbye. And I stay real, nigga. I live and die for the black, I live and die for the past. I'm spitting rhymes to the facts. Now I think you get the message, so there might be a rap. This paper chasing nigga major, nigga lies where it's at. No front from the motherfucking nigga. Ludicrous how I bow down, it's the rap club. Tilted on my face, it's banging all around. So bow down with the real niggas in your town, in your town. Don't fall from the nigga. Ludicrous how I bow down, it's the rap club. Tilted on my face, it's banging all around. So bow down with the real niggas in your town, in your town. We the black, so be careful what you say to us. Repercussions is a must if you fuck with us. Got some foul niggas, killers waiting for the club. It's a real black club here to kill you up.
Goal is 1.225 billion. In 60 seconds, we'll check in at the business center.
680 News Time, 9:55.
We had 17,000 cases.
You only brought two.
There's nothing to worry about.
These two can do anything.
Are you saying those online reviews are real?
Point at something you wish would disappear, ma'am.
Well, I'd like to see that gone. Those online reviews are real. What are you doing now?
I'm sweeping up the spot where it was.
You were here in less than 90 minutes.
And we work until midnight, 7 days a week. All you have to do is point. Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Find the candidate that fits. Maxis Staffing and Consulting is a professional staffing and solutions firm offering the best in innovative and creative professional service needs. With 12,000 candidates in their system, Maxis has the right person to fit your needs, environment, and culture. Help us help you. Hire Maxis, and you will be hiring within the military community, and you'll be getting the best of the best. Maxis Staffing and Consulting, presenting sponsor of the 2020 Garrison Ball. Visit maxsys.ca today. 680 News Time, 9:56. Now your weekend business report. Not weekend business report. It's Monday. Here's your business report with Richard Southern.
Good evening. For the first time ever, Google has revealed just how much money YouTube is bringing in. Google said YouTube's advertising revenue totaled $15 billion last year. And this ends a long-standing policy of keeping the video site's financials under wraps. The results came 14 years after Google bought YouTube for $1.6 billion. Ads on the video site now comprise 9% of Google's overall revenue. This news came to light as Google's parent company Alphabet reported earnings. Better than expected bottom line revenue, though, missing the mark, and the stock was a bit weaker in the after-hours trading session, down about 3%. I want to bring up oil because the price for Texas tea has really collapsed the last 2 weeks or so. Oil today closing at a one-year low. It's all about the coronavirus, worry that a slowing global economy will have the world needing less oil. The price down $1.45 today.
Yeah, but this isn't slowing.
It's down 17% this year. Anthony Acoli with TD Bank.
With the fears of coronavirus, we've seen consumption for oil in China plunge, some say as much as 20%. We're even seeing China's largest oil refinery offload millions of barrels of West African crude that it no longer needs. And that's really having an impact on the oil price, which is in bear market territory. It's down over 20% over the last month. So certainly we're seeing OPEC and its allies starting to react to this. They're looking to hold an emergency meeting on Tuesday, Wednesday to discuss some deeper cuts. So certainly some bad news for oil.
Even with oil's collapse, energy stocks on Main Street are down just 2% on the year. They were actually positive today. The TSX up 61 points in the Monday trade to 17,379. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 143 to 28,399. S&P gained 23 points. The Nasdaq up 122. Tesla surging 19%. Canadian dollar 75.22 cents US. This is 680 News.
I got a call from some company called Numeris. Probably another survey. Wait, you need to take that call. You love radio and TV, right? Yeah. So? Yeah. So? Wouldn't you like to have a say in how to shape it? Numeris are the ones that gather that information. Really? Yeah. Numeris. Take the call. All right. I will.
Have your say. Brought to you by Radio Connects. Learn more at numeris.ca and be a part of all the great stuff you listen to and watch.
Scotiabank focus on small business.
No matter what type of small business you run or plan to run, don't miss the special small business features each weekend now through February on 680 News. Get the keys to success in 2020 with topics covering everything from the importance of making a business plan to branding, technology, and business banking.
For a limited time, open the right size account for business and a business credit solution, and you can get $100. Certain conditions apply. Talk to a Scotiabank advisor today.
Now, 680 News regional weather conditions for Marquee Jewelers. Nothing says I love you more than a stunning diamond ring from Marquee Jewelers. Visit today for an amazing selection at 40 to 70% off. 2 Bloor Street West at Yonge.
In Brampton, 1 degree, clear. In Orangeville, -4, and partly cloudy. And in downtown Toronto, 3 degrees and clear. 680 News Time, 10 o'clock.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Here are Scott Burnett and Caitlin Lee.
Good evening. This is Monday, February 3rd.
Here's what's making news this hour.
Coronavirus cases surpassed 20,000 worldwide as the feds continue their plan on evacuating more than 300 Canadians from the epicenter in China.
The pilot of a WestJet flight heading to Montego Bay is forced to turn around and come back to Pearson after a passenger stands up and announces he has the coronavirus. Police now know how 3 young men were killed.
So you just turn around and fucking come back?
Downtown Airbnb turned violent. From paramedics to some garbage collectors, Toronto's outside workers could be locked out or on strike in 3 weeks. The city of Toronto
Locked out or on strike.
Report as negotiations start.
Please, John Tory, lock them out. I want to see you fuck this up.
Leaves the game injured, and the Raptors looking to make franchise history this week. Sports at 15. Canada's lobster industry really feeling the pinch of the coronavirus. Big Wall Street stock markets close higher, and Google in with earnings. Business at 26.
Time 10:01.
Time for traffic and weather together on one's first off the traffic center. We say good evening, Carly Donahue.
Good evening, Scott and Caitlin. This report is brought to you by Alternate Savings. Pretty much the only major issue we have on the major routes right now is on the northbound 400. Unfortunately, just north of King Road, we only have 1 lane that is open, 1 live lane there, and that is for some emergency road work. They're actually repairing a sinkhole right now. Crews are telling us it's only going to be about another 30 minutes until this reopens, but that is just an approximate time. So just a heads up for that. But the asphalt has been poured into the sinkhole. We're just waiting for that to set, and then everything should be good to go. But in the meantime, we're seeing delays backed up all the way to King Road, and then it's looking about like a 4-kilometer stretch of delays there. If you want to avoid this problem, because you definitely are going to want to get off latest at King Road, and then you can either take Jane or Weston up, and you can get back onto the highway at Aurora Road. Otherwise, on the major routes, westbound on the 401 at Leslie and the Collectors, just a left lane closed, no delays there. Eastbound 401 at Kingston Road and the Express, a left lane is shut down as well. Southbound on the 400 at Bayfield, the left lane's closed off for maintenance work, and westbound QEW at Winston Churchill, a left lane shut down there as well. On our city streets right now in Brampton, east and westbound Queen, just east of Mississauga Road is down to a single lane getting through just for some construction. And then we've got this problem on northbound Don Mills from Winfrey Langford to Greenbelt, which is just north of Eglinton. All lanes are closed off due to a police investigation. And then over in Ajax, north and southbound Westmead from Ritchie to Kingston is closed for collision. Saving for retirement doesn't have to be scary.
What if China doesn't let them take these Canadians
the best
back
plan
up?
for you. Visit alternatesavings.ca to book an appointment. Alternate Savings, discover the good in banking. Your next report, 10:11. With the forecast, here's Natasha Ramsahai.
Increasing cloud tonight and after midnight. Watch for some flurries, even some freezing drizzle at times as we drop to -1, wind chill -6. But that means untreated surfaces will be a bit slick and icy out there in the morning. The afternoon is dry for that drive home. Some sunny breaks with a high near 3 degrees. Tonight we're down to a low of -1. Right now in downtown Toronto, 3 degrees and clear, feeling like -2. At Pearson, it is +1 and clear. 680 news time, 10:03.
There are now over 20,000 confirmed cases of coronavirus worldwide, and new numbers out of China tonight show that the death toll has reached 426. Here at home, dozens of patients are being tested, but for now, public health officials say there are no new cases of the illness in the province.
Meantime, a WestJet flight returned to Toronto today after a man stood up and announced he had the coronavirus. 680's Phil Martino joins us live with the details. Phil. Caitlin, Peel Regional Police Constable Bancroft writes as WestJet Flight 2702 had taken off from Pearson, was heading to Montego Bay when halfway through the flight, a man stood up and announced to the crew and passengers that he was in China and that he had picked up the coronavirus.
It's our understanding that it was a prank, yes.
Prank or not, the pilot turned around, returned the flight to Toronto, and the man was taken into custody. WestJet spokesperson Morgan Bell says, out of an abundance of caution, their crew followed all protocols for infectious disease on board.
Obviously, we sincerely apologize.
But they didn't follow the protocols for fucking lunatic yelling and screaming.
WestJet has added an extra
You
flight to
tackle
Montego
somebody
Bay
like
to make
that.
up for the flight that
Don't fucking
returned to
take them
Toronto.
seriously.
A 29-year-old Thornhill man has been charged with mischief. His name is not being released. Phil Martino, 680 News.
Meantime, Canada's evacuation plans for Canadians that are stuck in the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak are still on hold, but the number of people seeking help continues to grow.
We need people home as quickly as we can. That's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on the efforts to help those under lockdown in the Wuhan region of China. Plans are in place and a plane is on standby in Vietnam, but with 304 Canadians now asking to leave, the feds have chartered
We don't
a
have any
second
planes
plane
in
just
Canada.
in case they need it. However, Foreign Affairs Minister Francois Philippe Champagne says they're still awaiting final approvals.
The airspace in Yuan is currently closed, so we need special dispensation for a plane to land.
Health Minister Patty Haidu says passengers will be screened by both Chinese and Canadian officials, and if they show symptoms, they won't be allowed to board.
This is what we're going to hear about that Huawei executive.
asking for help are ill right now.
The final destination is CFB Trenton, where passengers will be quarantined for 2 weeks.
Why are you bringing them to a
Cormac makes
military
Parliament
base?
Hill.
What is
You're
wrong with
listening
you
to
people?
680 News at 10:06. Autopsies are now complete on 3 young men killed during an Airbnb party at a downtown high-rise over the weekend. 680's Karen Siolan has more from police.
Because I made it look like they
Toronto
both
police
killed
are
each
still
other.
trying to piece together why a party at an Airbnb rental in City Place turned violent, but say preliminary autopsies show all 3 men were killed by gunfire. The shooters are among the dead, but only 2 deaths are considered homicides. Police say 20-year-old Joshua Gibson Skier and 21-year-old Jalen Colley, both from Brampton, died from gunshot wounds to the stomach and throat. A young Toronto rapper, Tyrone Noseworthy, was also shot and killed. The 19-year-old was one half of the rap duo the Talib Twins. Mayor John Tory says the Airbnb killings are tragic.
They're tragic both in the context of the loss of life, but also in the context of the trauma that is created for people living in that neighborhood who are
Because they
the
spent-
vast majority law-abiding, respectful and respectable
White
citizens.
Police are not looking for any
people that
suspects in
spent
the
a lot of
shooting.
money to live
I'm
there.
Karen Siolan.
So it's very
Police are
tragic that that
investigating reports
happened.
a vehicle was shot at while driving on Eglinton Avenue in North York. It happened around 8:30 this evening. No injuries were reported. Northbound Don Mills was closed north of Eglinton for this investigation, but has since reopened.
680 News Time, 10:07. The Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association met for one day of bargaining with the province today, but no deal was reached and no further dates are scheduled. That means elected members will hold their second province-wide strike tomorrow. The same day, the union representing high school teachers plans to resume its own series of rotating strikes. High schools will be closed tomorrow at 7 boards, including York Region and Halton. There are also rotating strikes scheduled tomorrow for public elementary schools in Peel and Durham.
680 News Time at 10:08. This news segment brought to you by Muskoka Woods. 3 full-page ads with an anti-teachers union message appearing in weekend editions of the Star, the Globe and Mail, and the National Post over the weekend. As we hear from 680's Mark Douglas, the Ontario NDP want a formal investigation into the source of those ads.
The logo on the ads claim they come from a group called Vaughan Working Families. Trouble is, there appears to be no such organization.
Someone broke the law in placing this advertisement. Someone has the same motivation as the government because they're using the same talking points.
From the NDP, Taras Nadashek is the ethics and accountability critic. He claims these ads are illegal because they violate Elections Ontario regulations. An Elections Ontario rep says they cannot comment on which complaints they do or do not investigate. A one-sentence statement from the Education Minister, Stephen Lecce's spokesperson, says, quote, the government was not aware of the advertisements and not familiar with the group Vaughan Working Families, unquote. At Queen's Park, I'm Mark Douglas.
Toronto's outside workers could walk off the job soon.
Rob Ross with the City of Toronto says the request was made in an effort to reach a timely settlement with QB 416, the union representing outside workers.
It starts the clock ticking, so by the third week
they're
of February,
gangsters because they use the area code for their union number.
Will be in a strike or lockout position.
Some contract issues have been resolved over months of negotiations. However, the city says job security, wages, benefits, and parental leave are still on the table. A statement from QB 416 reads in part, Toronto's outside city workers remain committed to negotiating a fair contract that protects city services as the City of Toronto tries to pave the way for privatization and contracting out of services. The union has been without contract since December 31st. I'm Michelle Mackey.
680 News Time, 10:09.
This is 680 News.
At Muskoka Woods, supportive staff come together.
Those are the guys that fix everything. They pick up the garbage, they take away the dead animals, they fill potholes, they fix the fucked up sidewalks. All that shit is those guys.
More cooperative now. I like to work together as a team, not just go and do my own thing.
See how
I've seen a garbage strike in this city. It's not pleasant.
Friendship and community building. Discover more at muskokawoods.com.
I mean, I thought it was funny, but that's my sense of humor.
Now, the 680 News gas price update. Empro predicts the price will not change at midnight, holding at $9.9 a liter.
680 News Time, 10:10.
Do you have unfiled taxes? Are you overwhelmed and stressed? Boxes of paper, lost documents, disorganized, confused. Don't know where to start? We do. Call Mark Feldstein Chartered Professional Accountants. We deal with this every day. It's never too late. Start sleeping at night. Call Mark Feldstein Chartered Professional Accountants now at pound tax. That's the # tax. Or visit markfeldstein.ca.
Auf Wiedersehen. Arrivederci. Ciao. Adios. No matter where in the world you or your customers are, you can say goodbye to boundaries thanks to Adyen, the payments platform that supports payments across the globe. From New York to Shanghai, from Singapore to Sao Paulo, reach more customers in more places with Adyen, the payments platform of choice for the world's leading companies. Adyen, business, not boundaries. Learn more at adyen.com. That's ADYEN.com.
680 News Time, 10:11.
Time for traffic. Together on the ones. Here's Carolyn Donahue.
This report is brought to you by the 407 ATR. The pretty much still the only issue we're seeing on the major routes right now is on the northbound 400. They've shut down all live lanes except one of the left ones. This is due to some emergency sinkhole repairs. So the crews said it's only going to be about another 20 minutes or so until this reopens, but that is an approximate time frame. So just keep that in mind. And if you're coming up on the northbound 400, you're going to want to latest get off of that highway at
at not Aurora Road, rather at King Road, and then you can take Jane or Weston, whichever side you're on there, and the closest you can get back onto the highway is at Aurora Road. There are really heavy delays, about 5 kilometers or so worth, so just a heads up for that. Otherwise, on the northbound 400 at this time, the ramps to Highway 89 are shut down for some construction, and then we have a left lane closed off at Dunlop. On the southbound 400 at Bayfield, the left lane is closed. Other than that, it's a smooth drive. On the westbound 401 at Leslie and the Collectors, the left lane is shut down for maintenance. Other than that, nothing to report on the east or westbound 401 at this time. Westbound QEW at Winston Churchill, a left lane closed. And then on our city streets off the major routes here in Brampton, east and westbound Queen from east to Mississauga Road is down to a single lane getting through. And then over in Ajax, north and southbound Westney from Ritchie to Kingston is closed due to a collision. This year, 407 ETR is adding 30 kilometers of new lanes to keep up with increasing traffic and keep your commutes fast, safe, and reliable. 407ETR.com. Your next report, 10:21 with the forecast. Natasha Ramsahide.
Icy in spots overnight tonight and into the morning commute, and that's because we've got a few flurries and some freezing drizzle out there. So we're really kind of talking about those road surfaces and sidewalks that are left untreated tonight. We're going to start the day off at -1. The afternoon is dry, a couple of sunny breaks in there with a high of 3 degrees. And Wednesday, the last dry day of the week, partly cloudy skies with a seasonal high of -2, feeling like -7. Tonight, we're down to a low of -1 degree. Right now in downtown Toronto, 3 degrees and clear at Pearson. It's +1. 680 News Time, 10:13.
Nick, Keith, Ronnie, and Charlie teasing motorists across North America. Jones fans posting pics on social media today showing electronic billboards with the iconic lips and tongue logo and song titles and lines like "Let's spend the night together" and "Get what you need and miss you." According to the Post, they've appeared in Charlotte, Buffalo, and Pittsburgh. No official dates have been posted for the 2020 North American leg of the band's No Filter tour. However, presumptive dates and locations.
Presumptive? When the fuck did presumptive become a word?
The only rumored Canadian date on the tour. Coming up in 60 seconds.
Very presumptuous to use this presumptive
and see how the
word.
Leafs did at Scotiabank tonight.
680 News Time, 10:14.
The holidays are over and it's time to take care of all those bills. Don't go to a payday loan company. Go to borrowwithyourcar.com. If you have equity in your car or home, go to the front of the line for fast approval on a loan up to $35,000. Car and homeowners, remember,
just one click. Borrowwithyourcar.com.
You get great rates on a loan that actually works towards improving your credit score. Remember Prudent Financial, your trusted equity lender since 1984.
Borrowwithyourcar.com.
Do you work hard to grow your business, but it's just not happening? Tired of putting in long hours only to be stuck in the same place? There is help. Numero Uno, the business growth experts, can increase your website's traffic to get you more customers so you can grow your business. Visit numerounoweb.ca and check their.
I want the same customers to spend twice as much.
See all the businesses who have used Numero Uno to get them more customers. Get the help you need to grow your business today at numerounoweb.ca. This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Mostly clear skies downtown Toronto, 3 degrees, feeling like -1. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Scott Burnett.
And I'm Caitlin Lee. Here are the top stories this hour.
Total coronavirus cases worldwide surpasses 20,000 with over 400 dead. A 29-year-old Thorn Hill man taking it less than seriously after he stood up on a flight from Toronto to Montego Bay this afternoon, allegedly shouting out that he had coronavirus. The plane turned around. The man was taken into custody and
should have thrown stuff at him.
Crews are hard at work repairing potholes on the
until
400.
he shut up.
The bad news, northbound 400 backed
People
up.
are not gangster with it.
King Road, you may want to find an alternate traffic coming up in just minutes. And 9 years later, a young man found responsible for the death of York Police Constable Garrett Stiles has pleaded guilty to manslaughter. The man, who was 15 at the time, became a quadriplegic after flipping his family's minivan during a traffic stop that killed an officer. 680 News
and that pushed the gas pedal down.
Sports and from Sportsnet 59, the man, Andy McNamara.
Thanks, Scott. Well, losing goaltender Freddie Anderson to
The
start
reason the
second
trial
period
took
with an
9
upper
fucking
body
years.
injury was too much for the Maple Leafs to overcome as the Panthers scored 4 unanswered in the third to drop Toronto 5-3. Leafs goals from Tavares, Nylander, and Matthews. They'll battle the Rangers in New York
Canada's
next on
justice system
Wednesday.
is
Finals in
definitely
the NHL,
communist.
Stars beat the Rangers 5-3. Flyers shut out Detroit
Somebody's going to
3-0.
go down when
And the
they want
NHL
somebody
trade
to go
deadline
down.
coming up
They
soon,
don't care what
February
they have to
24th. The Sportsnet senior hockey writer Chris Johnston spoke on what Toronto might do.
there's certainly no guarantee they're going to make a move. I don't expect that they're just going to do something to do it. If they can solve some issues on their back end, maybe solidify that position even beyond this season, I think that those are the kind of trades that they put out feelers for to see if they can find that fit.
And Raptors head coach Nick Nurse was named the Eastern Conference Coach of the Month for January. They'll get back on the floor Wednesday versus the Indiana Pacers. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590. 680 News Time, 10:17.
Hi, I'm Ivanka Osmak. If you watch Sportsnet, then you might have heard that I'm pregnant. That's right, sports fans, there's another Osmak on the way. The words pregnant and good night's sleep, though, don't exactly mix. I was struggling. Enter the sleep experts at Sleep Country. They helped me pick the right pillow for my unique sleep needs. Turns out the BioSoy pillow was the perfect choice. The high-density foam adapts to my head and neck to better support my tired back. Trust me, when you're midway through your third trimester, you need
So your
all the
head
support
matches
you can
something
get.
high density,
And
eh?
the all-natural hypoallergenic cover provides comfort all night long. Thanks to my new BioSoy pillow, I am sleeping like a baby. Right now, buy one BioSoy pillow at Sleep Country and get a second BioSoy pillow free. Restrictions apply. See store for details. Sleep Country, all for sleep.
680 News Time, 10:18.
Happening now in Iowa, the first contest of the 2020 presidential election now underway, where Democrats are meeting to discuss the candidates
not getting impeached,
and select the one they think is the best to run against President Trump in November. ABC Steve
Getting
Roberts has
impeached
more
and
of
he's
the
running
Iowa
again.
caucuses.
That's
Every 4
Trump.
years, we've
He's
bemoaned
going
the
to do it
fact
anyway.
that Iowa has such outsized impact, particularly among Democrats, because the Democratic Party is heavily weighted toward the influence of minorities, more and more African Americans, Hispanics, Asians, and yet Iowa is one of the whitest states. So for Iowa to have such an outsized impact on the Democratic nominee really in many ways doesn't make sense.
Voters are gathered at more than 1,700 sites throughout Iowa to declare support for their preferred candidate. They then will participate in alignment, which allows supporters of eliminated candidates to choose again. Here with All News Radio 680 News, a leaked recording suggests an Iranian air traffic controller and an Iranian pilot knew right away that it was a missile that shot down a Ukrainian airliner near Tehran, killing all 176 people on board, including 57 Canadians. The recording was broadcast by a Ukrainian TV channel and has been verified by Ukraine's president and the head of the Iranian investigation team. On that tape, the pilot describes witnesses as something resembling a missile being fired, followed by a midair explosion. The government of Iran denied for days that it was a missile, but then later admitted. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic and your extended forecast.
680 News Time, 10:20.
I don't know how all these fucking people keep getting out of jail. My friends don't get out of jail early. Woman convicted of killing stepson Randall Dooley allowed to leave prison unsupervised. A Toronto woman convicted of killing her 7-year-old stepson will be allowed to leave prison unsupervised to prepare for life in a halfway house. In a decision released today, the Parole Board of Canada. In a decision released today, the Parole Board of Canada says Marcia Dooley has been compliant while out on escorted absences from the minimum security prison where she is held. Why is she in minimum security? It says Dooley, 49, will be allowed to spend 4 unescorted 5-day stints at a halfway house over a year so she can familiarize herself with the routine and the community. The board imposed several conditions, however, barring her from taking a position of trust over minors and from contacting any of her stepson's relatives or her accomplice, her husband, Edward Tony Dooley. The parole board panel also required that Dooley disclose any relationships with people who have parental responsibility over minors. Dooley and her husband were convicted of second-degree murder in 2002 for the death of Tony's son, Randall. They were both sentenced to life in prison, with Dooley able to apply for parole after 18 years and her husband after 13. 2002. At their trial, court heard Randall was brutally abused for months after he and his brother came from Jamaica to live with their father and stepmother in Toronto in 1997. Court heard Randall weighed only 41 pounds when he died in 1998 and had 13 fractured ribs, a lacerated liver, multiple brain injuries, and bruises all over his body. The trial found Dooley was the one who fatally struck Randall. You can't just go by the last. They're fucking married, eh? Like, which Dooley, motherfucker? Fuck. The trial found Dooley was the one who fatally struck Randall and meted out most of the abuse while her husband turned a blind eye to her actions. The parole board decision said the couple tried to cover up the killing and later challenged their conviction. Their appeal was rejected in 2009. Dooley appeared before the parole board on January 22nd, but the panel released its written ruling Monday, apostrophe. It said in the document that Dooley initially showed, quote, no remorse, but has since made significant progress in understanding the factors that contributed to her violence and the impact it had. Quote, you now acknowledge that you inflicted emotional and physical abuse on the victim, resulting in his death, the board said. You told the board that at the time of the offense, you had a low tolerance for frustration, lacked problem-solving skills, and failed to use consequential thinking. I don't think that's this person's problem. As you were unable to communicate your frustration and resentment, it continued to build, and you took your anger out on the victim, resulting in fatal consequences. I don't agree. Oh, if she had communicated, then her inherent frustration and resentment that would have inherently built up would not have, like, that doesn't add up to me. Dooley has successfully completed roughly 20 escorted temporary absences and work releases, which involved activities such as attending church, taking a post-secondary class, and visiting her father, the panel said. Reports indicate she applied the skills and knowledge gained in prison programs during those absences, it said. What skills and knowledge do you gain in prison programs? Her behavior in prison has also improved with no issues in the past 2 years, it said. I don't give a fuck about 2 years. What about the last 20? Noting Dooley had previously demonstrated bullying behavior. The board said it imposed the restrictions because Dooley's crimes took place in the context of a relationship where she was in a position of trust and her violent behavior was condoned. Tony Dooley, meanwhile, was approved for escorted temporary absences in 2017, and that's all it says about him.
Allegation in late January, Flyer season ticket holder Chris Greenwald alleged that during a photo shoot back in November, the mascot punched his 13-year-old son. Greenwald said his son was diagnosed with a back bruise. Police now say an investigation determined the actions of Gritty did not constitute a physical assault. Coming up in 60 seconds, we'll see what Richard Southern has for us at the 680 Business Center.
What's the
680
treatment?
News Time, 10:25.
Graham and Ben Loudon. Looking good, Ben.
Thanks, Dad. You too. Remember how I thought I could lose weight on my own?
It never works.
So eventually I took your advice and called Harvey Brooker Weight Loss for Men.
And with the support of the Harvey Brooker team of men, I've lost 40 pounds myself.
And I've lost over 80 pounds.
Join now and February is free. Start your weight loss journey today. Call 416-222-9887. HarveyBrooker.com. Remember, if you could do it alone,
You would have done it already.
When we work together, amazing things can happen.
Been
The
done.
Love You by Shoppers Drug Mart program works together with local charities to help advance women's health and provide support systems for women to feel their best. To date, we've raised over $66 million to support women's health initiatives in our communities. Join us
I
in being
really
a
want to know what
champion
that
for
means.
women's health. Visit shoppersdrugmart.ca/loveyou to learn how you can participate. Because together, we're empowered. Together, we're healthier. Together, we're unstoppable.
680 News Time, 10:26.
And the biz, Richard.
Good evening. Canada's lobster industry is really feeling the pinch of the coronavirus. Cargo flights to China have been grounded which has prevented the fishermen in Nova Scotia from getting live lobster to market in China. It's a big problem because last year, Canada exported more than $400 million worth of live lobster to Canada,
grind it up and put it in a tin?
Sharply higher. But now almost
that's what they would do to serve us.
That market has dried up, what with travel restrictions and lockdowns that some Chinese cities put into place. And as a result, the shore price of lobster in Nova Scotia is collapsing. This is the price paid to lobster fishermen. Fell from a high of $10.50 per pound the other week to just $8. And that price expected to continue to decline. Another offshoot of the virus reflected today in teleconferencing company Zoom Video Communications. Stock had its best day in almost a year, with the thinking being that face-to-face meetings are less attractive now with the virus. Zoom shares up 15%, $87.66.
The problem is everybody's already got a Facebook or a Skype or a Snapchat and all that shit already, so why would they pay some new company?
An optimistic report on the company's future. Some very big price targets as well put in place on this name by a number of analysts. Tesla stock is up more than 80% just since January 1st. And the broader markets were higher today after a sell-off on Friday. The TSX getting 61 points to 17,379. Dow up 143, 28,399. S&P up 23 points, 0.75%. NASDAQ up 122. Google in with earnings after the bell. Better than expected bottom line, $15.35 per share. The top line revenue, though, weaker than expected at $46.08 billion. Alphabet stock was lower in the after-hours trading session. Price for gold, $1,583. And the Luna, 75.21 cents US. Top stories are next on 680 News.
It's nice to have a guarantee that your money will grow because your kids are guaranteed to grow.
Money grows on trees.
My shoes are too small. Thankfully, HSBC Bank offers a GIC with 2.18% interest, so you'll be ready for anything.
Mom, my shoes are too small.
Again? Take a step towards financial wellness today. Get 2.18% per annum on a 218-day non-redeemable GIC for new deposits. For full details, visit hsbc.ca/grow. HSBC Bank. Together we thrive.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate online at carsforkids.ca. That's cars with a K. Pickup is quick and easy. You'll benefit a child and get a maximum tax credit.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Also accepting boats, motorcycles, RVs, and truck donations. This is CFTR
Garbage
16.
collectors,
Listen 3,
maintenance
4, 5
workers,
times a day.
paramedics.
Always be in the know. It's 10:30.
Those are the people you don't want to piss off or lock up.
#1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Here are Scott Burnett and Caitlin Lee. Good evening. It's Monday, February 3rd.
Here's what's making news this hour.
Hong Kong reporting its first death from coronavirus as China says the number of people sickened by the illness has surpassed 20,000. A prank turns into an arrest for a WestJet passenger. Peel Regional Police say a flight heading to Montego Bay turned around after a man stood up and announced he had the coronavirus. It's not the outcome.
Man, as soon as the pilot said he was turning around, you guys should have just beat
nearly a
that
decade
guy.
after getting behind the
Beat
wheel
him while
of
you're
the
still in
team and
international
driving a York
airspace.
police officer to his death. Frustrated at the pace of negotiations with the union representing
Not the
city
pilot, the
workers,
guy that did
the
that.
city of Toronto requests a no-board report. The clock ticking towards a potential lockout.
The Leafs lose more than just the game, and Raptors head coach Nick Nurse is the NBA's Eastern Conference Coach of the Month. Sports at 45.
Expect more Adam Sandler on Netflix. We're looking at a big deal the comedian has signed. Mr. Peanut lives on after all, and the main Wall Street stock markets turn out
That
a
is the
money-making
weirdest
Monday.
fucking
Business at
campaign.
56.
Time 10:31.
Time for traffic and weather together on the One Series. Carly Donahue. Thanks, Caitlin. This report is brought to you by Alternate Savings. We still are seeing this problem, unfortunately, on the northbound 400. So just north of King Road, all but one live lanes are closed off. So you only have one to get through. This is for emergency road work. We did hear from crews that it's going to be wrapping up at 10:30. It definitely still looks like it's there. Of course,
Yeah.
it's only been a minute since
Jinxed
then.
it.
So we'll keep
keep you updated in the next report if it's gone. But right now, delays are still about 5 kilometers long. It's the actual closures north of King Road, so the delays are backed up to King Road. So it's a slow-going drive through that stretch. You're going to want to get off of the North 400 latest at King, and then you can take Jane or Weston up to Aurora Road, get back on the highway. It'll probably be your quicker option at this point. Otherwise, on the North 400, the ramps to Highway 89 are shut down for some construction, and then at Dunlop, we have a left lane closed up in Barrie there. On the eastbound 401, the northbound McCowan ramp to that highway shut down for some maintenance work. At Kingston Road and the Express, we've now got 2 left lanes closed off as well. We're still not seeing delays out there. Westbound on the 401 at Leslie and the Collectors, just a left lane closed, and other than that, the 401 is moving just fine this evening. On the westbound QEW at Winston Churchill, a left lane is closed off. Eastbound QEW, the ramp to the 403 has a left lane blocked as well. And then on the southbound 427, right at Finch, a right lane is shut down, and then the westbound Finch ramp to the highway is closed as well. If you're off of the major routes right now in Brampton, east and westbound Queen is down to a single lane just east of Mississauga Road. And then in Ajax, north and southbound Westney from Ritchie to Kingston Road is closed due to a collision. Saving for retirement doesn't have to be scary. Talk to an advisor at Alterna Savings about the best plan for you. Visit alterna.ca to book an appointment. Alterna Savings, discover the good in banking. Your next report's at 10:41 with the forecast. Here's Natasha Ramsahai.
Temperatures tonight dropping to -1. We are going to cloud back over, and out of that cloud will come a little bit of flurry activity as well as some freezing drizzle. And that means it could be icy, a little bit slick out there for that morning commute. The afternoon will be drier and some sunny breaks in there. Light northwest breeze with a high near 3 degrees. Tonight we're dropping to a low of -1, wind chill -6 by morning.
Downtown Toronto right now, partly cloudy and 3 degrees. 6:80 news time, 10:33.
Breaking news on the outbreak of the coronavirus, where Hong Kong is reporting its first death. A 39-year-old man who had traveled from Wuhan. The death toll from coronavirus worldwide is now 427, while there are now over 20,000 confirmed cases of illness.
Despite those numbers, not everyone is taking this illness seriously. Here at home, Peel Regional Police have made an arrest after a man stood up on an airplane and announced he had coronavirus on a flight to Montego Bay. 680's Phil Martino joins us live with the details. Phil.
Scott, WestJet Flight 2702 had taken off from Pearson and was heading to Montego Bay, but it never made it there because Peel Regional Police Constable Bancroft Wright says halfway through the flight, a man stood up and advised crew and passengers that he was in China and that he had the coronavirus.
You should have beaten him senseless.
To the flight captain by the crew, and a decision was made to return the flight back to Pearson. The plane landed just after 2 p.m.
Police say it turned out to be a prank, and the man was taken into custody. WestJet spokesperson Morgan Bell says they sincerely apologize to the 243 guests who were affected by the situation.
And we're hoping to have them on their way tomorrow morning on an extra segment flight that's scheduled to depart Toronto at approximately 6:45 a.m. locals.
A 29-year-old Thornhill man has been charged with mischief. His name is not being released. Phil Martino, 680 News. 680
No,
News
you
till
release his name, he'll get a whole bunch of
10:35.
hits on his fucking Twitter.
The federal
or whatever
government
the fuck,
is
right?
expanding its evacuation plans and says it's waiting for final approvals from Chinese authorities before it can fly hundreds of Canadians out of the Wuhan region, the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak.
One plane is on standby in Vietnam, and the feds have now chartered a second plane to help
Now, how come that
304
private
Canadians
company
get out
can
of the
fit
lockdown region
243
in
people
China.
on a plane?
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says they're still waiting for the green light from Chinese authorities. It's both health and safety steps that have to be gone through. A majority of the Canadians looking to flee are full citizens. The rest are permanent residents. Foreign Affairs Minister Francois Philippe Champagne says
A number are citizens, the rest are
board the flight unless it's for family unity.
So when there's a child, if the primary caregiver is a permanent resident, they would allow that child, which is Canadian, with the primary caregiver to come.
Passengers will be screened multiple times throughout the trip, and when they arrive back in Canada, they'll be quarantined for 2 weeks at CFB Trenton.
You're going to ask them the same questions every 60 minutes.
680 News Time, 10:36. A nearly decade-long legal saga has come to another end after a crash that killed a York police officer and left the driver quadriplegic. Here's 680's Karen Seolan.
The young offender responsible for the death of Constable Garrett Stiles almost 10 years ago has pleaded guilty to manslaughter. It was back in June 2011 that Stiles pulled over a minivan. Behind the wheel was a 15-year-old boy, who we can now only identify as SK. During the traffic stop, SK hit the gas, dragging Stiles for about 300 meters before the van rolled over and crushed him. SK was sentenced to 2 years probation with several conditions placed on his operation of a motor vehicle. York Regional Police Association President Rob O'Quinn tells 680 News this is not the outcome they were hoping for.
The hope would be that the courts would stick to the fact that it was a conviction for first-degree murder.
SK was previously convicted of first-degree murder in 2015, but the conviction was overturned. I'm Karen Seolin.
680 News Time, 10:37. Toronto police are investigating a vehicle that was shot at while driving in North York. It happened around 8:30 this evening on Eglinton near Leslie. Police tell 680 News they found evidence of gunfire, but no injuries. Northbound Don Mills was closed to north of Eglinton between Winford and Greenbelt Drive, but it's since reopened.
680 News Time, 10:37. To the education front, where talks have broken off between the province and the union representing English Catholic school teachers. Tomorrow's planned province-wide strike of Catholic teachers from kindergarten to grade 12 will go ahead as scheduled. It's the same day the union representing high school teachers plans to resume its own series of rotating strikes, including York Region and Halton. Public elementary teachers will also be in strike position in several boards, including Peel and Durham.
More labor trouble is brewing this time with the city. Toronto's outside workers moving towards strike action.
The request launches a countdown towards a potential work stoppage beginning in the third week of February. QB416, the union representing Toronto's outside workers in the city, have been bargaining for more than 4 months. According to the city, job security, wages, benefits, and parental leave are the issues on the table. Brad Ross with the City of Toronto says the decision to request a no-board report was made after multiple meetings with a conciliation officer.
While we made a little bit of progress here and there, we were unable to make progress on those outstanding issues.
The president of QP416,
Is that like a police officer or
quote, the
court
city wants a
officer or
contract
like a
that creates two-tier job security
loan
provisions
officer?
and paves the way for
Loan officer.
privatization
What kind of
and
officer is
contracting
that?
out of services that the people of Toronto rely on, unquote. They've been without a contract since December 31st. I'm Michelle Mackey.
680 News Time, 10:39.
That's what we need, a nice long hot summer with no garbage pickup and a shitload of busted traffic signals. That's what we need.
Refresher course about the Registered Retirement Savings Plan. There's a common misconception that an RRSP is an investment. Think of it more like a place for your investments, an account that holds the money you put in, which can then be invested in almost anything. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, exchange-traded funds, GICs, and cash. You use it to save for retirement, but also for a tax refund. Any money you put into the account, you'll get a refund the equal to your tax rate. So if your income is taxed at 30%,
and I'm not going to live long enough.
will see you get a refund of $300. You can set up an RRSP as soon as you get a T4 tax slip showing employment. The maximum amount you can put in each year, up to 18% of your total annual income, or
Plus
just over
a
$26,000
over contribution limit.
Contribution space accumulates. Investments within the plan grow tax-free, but are taxable once you start to take the money out in retirement, but likely at a much lower marginal rate. Focused on your finances.
Likely, but that's not guaranteed to happen. Your income might be high for some reason.
You know how my brother moved his investments to Questrade? I think it's a smart move for us too.
Investing online.
Take out 5,000, they withhold 10%.
Those people
Take out
pay way
up
lower
to 10,000,
fees.
they withhold 20%.
Versus the
And
2% we
15,000
pay.
is 30% towards the taxes.
4 times lower.
Over time, that could be life-changing.
Save your retirement. See how you can retire wealthier with the Quest Wealth Portfolio's RRSP at questrade.com.
Now, the 680 News gas price update, and Pro predicts the price will not change at midnight. It will hold at $1.09.9 a liter at most GTA stations. 680 News Time, 10:40.
When it comes to performing your best, you watch what you eat. You stay as active as possible. And you know the importance of a good night's sleep. But what about the chair you sit in all day? If you sit while you work, your office chair has a significant effect on your health and productivity. Ergocentric office chairs
standing on the corner Henry's good to my house.
94% of ergonomists for a reason. To learn more, visit ergocentric.com. Or, better yet, get up and visit our showroom and store at the King Edward Hotel.
Find the candidate that fits. Matz's Staffing and Consulting is a professional staffing and solutions firm offering the best in innovative and creative professional service needs. With 12,000 candidates in their system, Matz's has the right person to fit your needs, environment, and culture. Help us help you. Hire Matz's, and you will be hiring within the military community, and you'll be getting the best of the best. Matz's Staffing and Consulting, presenting sponsor of the 2020 Garrison Ball. Visit maxsys.ca today.
News time 1041.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here is Carly Donahue. This report is brought to you by Mazda Canada. Right now, we are still seeing this problem on the northbound 400. So it's been about 10 extra minutes since they said it was going to clear up. Just north of King Road, every live lane except for one has been blocked off due to a sinkhole repair. So we're waiting for this to clear up. It is still there. We're seeing delays backed up to King Road right now. It's about a 5-kilometer delay stretch there. If you want to avoid this problem, I suggest you get off of the North 400 latest at King Road. You can take Jane or Weston up to Aurora Road and then get back onto the highway, no problem. But that is just the easiest way to avoid these delays right now. Northbound on the 400, the ramps to Highway 89 are shut down for some maintenance. And then at Dunlop, a left lane is closed as well. On the eastbound 401, there's no access to the highway from northbound McCowan. That ramp shut down for some construction. At Kingston Road and the Express, we have 2 left lanes closed there as well. Southbound 427 at Finch, a right lane closed, and then the westbound Finch ramp to the southbound 427, that's blocked off at this time. Coming off our major routes onto city streets, if you're in Brampton, east and westbound Queen from east to Mississauga Road is down to a single lane, and then in Ajax, north and southbound Westney from Ritchie to Kingston is closed for a collision. The 2020 Mazda CX-9 is
giving us the story one piece at a time.
Including second row
2 of
captain
these
chairs. Book a
dead
test drive
guys are
today at
homicides,
Mazda.ca.
and one is
10:51 with the
so
forecast.
somebody
Here's
shot
Natasha Rizzo.
back.
-1 overnight tonight. We've got some freezing drizzle and some flurries, though, starting after midnight, but also lingering into that morning commute. So watch for slick spots, slow down, leave some extra travel time in the morning. You won't need that extra time, though, in the afternoon. It'll be dry. We'll get some sunny breaks with a high of 3
Tomorrow, the
degrees.
next day,
And
they'll
then
tell us
Wednesday,
which
partly
one was
cloudy.
which, but they'll give
A fair
one
bit of
name at a
sunshine through the
time
middle of the
throughout
day.
the
It's
day.
dry with a high of -2, and so get all your outdoor activities done by Wednesday, because by Thursday we're back into a snowy, wintry mess. Tonight we're
We
down
work
to a low
every day,
-1.
you just don't go out on Thursday.
Downtown Toronto right now, partly cloudy and 2 degrees at Pearson, partly cloudy and 1. 680 News Time 1044.
An award-winning musical goes from Broadway to the big screen.
You'll have to wait a little while longer, but Hamilton will be in theaters with the original Broadway cast, including creator and star Lin-Manuel Miranda. But don't expect a movie version like recent films Cats or Les Miserables. In New York, you can be a new man. It'll be a filmed performance of the stage musical, which was shot in New York in 2016. And Disney, which will be distributing the movie, says it'll combine the best elements of live theater and film. It'll be out in October 2021. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
I've got to buy new equipment for my business.
I want to increase my online sales. I wish I could expand my team.
I want to see my business move forward.
Things can move fast when you're in business. And at BDC, we understand entrepreneurs. With our 100% online small business loan, you could quickly make your project a reality. Go to bdc.ca/online loan. Apply in minutes and get up to $100,000 within 48 hours of approval. Apply now at bdc.ca/online loan.
Are you hiring now or will have a job opening soon? We can help. Check out the Next Steps Employment Centers at next-steps.ca. It's where qualified candidates go to look for their next job. We offer free recruitment services, and you may qualify for financial incentives. And have you heard? Through the Canada-Ontario Job Grant, you could be eligible to receive up to $10,000 per employee in government support to cover training costs. Learn more at next-steps.ca. That's next-steps.ca. Next Steps Employment Centers are funded by Employment Ontario.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
It is partly cloudy and 2 degrees. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Caitlin Lee.
I'm Scott Burnett. Here are the top stories this hour.
Hong Kong reporting its first death due to coronavirus. The number of cases has topped 20,000 worldwide. No new cases have been reported here in Ontario. That didn't stop someone from claiming he had the illness on a WestJet flight to Jamaica. The plane had to turn around due to the so-called prank and head back to Toronto. A 29-year-old Thornhill man is now charged with mischief. And a man accused of killing a York Regional Police officer nearly a decade ago when he was just 15 has pleaded guilty to manslaughter and has been sentenced to 2 years.
200 people on the plane. Why can't they give him 200 counts of mischief? He fucking interfered with all of their vacations.
Now time for 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Here is Andy McNamara.
Well, thank you, Caitlin. Well, losing goaltender Freddie Anderson to start the second period with that upper body injury proved to be the difference. The Panthers clawed back to snap the Maple Leafs 3-game winning streak.
Goes into the glove of Bobrovsky, and that ends the contest. A huge third period for the Florida Panthers, who score 4 unanswered goals and end up beating the Maple Leafs by a score of 5-3.
Joe Bowen with the call on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Finals in the NHL. Stars beat the Rangers 5-3. Flyers shut out Detroit 3-0. Raptors are off until Wednesday when they'll have a chance to set the franchise record for consecutive victories at 12. It will not be easy, though. This is the first of a home-and-home against conference rival the Indiana Pacers. And Raps head coach Nick Nurse has won the Eastern Conference Coach of the Month award. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 1047.
There's always been 2 ways to invest. You do it yourself, or you hand over your money and your control. But what if there's a smarter way to invest? BMO Advice Direct keeps you in control while giving you easy-to-follow advice and trade recommendations personalized to your portfolio. And it's the only digital investment product of its kind. Get up to $2,000 when you sign up for Advice Direct today. To learn more, visit BMO Advice Direct online. Conditions apply. Advice Direct is a product of BMO Investor Line.
That's a Ponzi
scheme. 1048.
A woman has been taken to hospital after being struck by a vehicle in North York. It happened around 6:45 this evening at Bathurst and Invermay, north of Wilson. Paramedics say the woman suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries. We're now hearing the 911 calls reporting the crash of a helicopter, which was carrying NBA legend Kobe Bryant and 8 others.
I forgot about Kobe.
It was a foggy morning in Calabasas when 911 calls began coming in.
Helicopter crashed into a mountain.
Now, hearing those calls for the first time, witnesses report hearing and seeing an aircraft hit the hillside.
Plane in the clouds, we couldn't see it, and we just heard a boom.
And caller Scott Dalen told 911 what he heard.
It went over my head, it's thick and cloud, and then I heard a pop, and it immediately stopped.
Moments later, rescue teams would find the remains of the helicopter.
Moments later.
Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
If I get lost in this country, I'm expecting to be out there 3 days at
The Great
least.
trial of Harvey Weinstein has faced cross-examination.
The woman had testified Weinstein trapped her in a New York hotel room in March of 2013 and 8 months later at a Los Angeles hotel. Under cross-examination, Weinstein attorney Donna Rotuno accused her of being manipulative, that she liked the party, she liked the power. The woman testified she stayed in touch with the once powerful movie mogul to protect her acting career, to make him believe she wasn't a threat. She later admitted she was afraid of Weinstein's unpredictable anger. At times during cross-examination, the woman struggled to recall certain details, asking for a break, saying she was getting a little foggy. I'm Ed Donahue.
Coming up in 1 minute, we'll check the roads as well as your extended forecast.
680 News Time, 1050.
As headmaster of St. Andrews College in Aurora, I'm often asked by parents why our school is right for their son.
The second you enter, you know you're a part of something truly amazing. There are tons of arts and extracurricular activities.
71 teams, 21 sports. There are so many opportunities to become a leader.
I don't think 20
of
there are
students are
21
accepted to
sports.
university.
The teachers sincerely care. They push you to do your best.
And I have brothers for life.
Experience for yourself what a St. Andrews College Day or boarding program can offer your son. Join us for our open house on February 8th.
Details at sac.on.ca.
So our mortgage approval is done?
Great news. The
bank has approved you at a 2.89%
rate.
What the what? That's way too high.
Sack
Butler Mortgage is
dot
2.48%.
Well, it cannot be the same as our bank's mortgage.
It's totally the same. 5-year fixed rate, same features, no fees.
Athletics.
2.48%. I'm switching to
Support.
Butler Mortgage. And now they're
Sack.
making the banks rich.
License number 12118. High ratio fixed rate APR 2.49%. 680 News Time 1051.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here is Carling Donahue.
This report's brought to you by Hakeem Optical. Right now on the northbound 400 north of King Road, we're still seeing this problem. So there's emergency road work going on to repair a sinkhole. They've taken out 2 out of the 3 lanes. We only have 1 live lane getting through, so that's causing some pretty heavy backup. Just backed up right now to King Road. It's about 4 kilometers now. It's getting a little bit better, but it's in a place you're going to want to avoid. So get off the highway at King Road. You can take Jane or take Weston, and then you can get back onto the North 400 at Aurora Road. The ramps to Highway 89 are closed coming off of the highway, and then at Dunlop, we have a left lane closed off as well. Southbound 400 looking like a much better drive. At Bayfield, the left lane's blocked off for construction, but other than that, you're good to go. And jumping on to the westbound 401 now at Bayview and the Collectors, rather at Bayview, the Collector 2 Express transfer is shut down for some maintenance. We've also got at Leslie and the Collectors 2 left lanes now closed off for some maintenance as well. Eastbound on the 401, where there's no access to that highway from northbound McCowan. Right. And then at Kingston Road in the Express, 2 left lanes are blocked at this time. Other than that, your major routes are looking like they're in good shape. We just have 1 ramp closure onto the southbound 427, no access from westbound Finch. Off of our major routes in Brampton, east and westbound Queen is down to a single lane just east of Mississauga Road. And in Ajax, north and southbound Westmead from Ritchie to Kingston is shut down due to a collision. It's Hakeem Optical's big winter sale. All Hakeem designer frames and lenses start from only $50 each when you buy 2 pairs. Visit HakeemOptical.ca today. Your next report's at 11:01 with the forecast. Here's Natasha Ramsahai.
Temperatures still running a slightly above seasonal here for the next day, including tonight. We're down to a low of -1, but because we're just shy of the freezing mark, and with increasing cloud, we'll bring in some freezing drizzle and some flurries. It'll be a little bit slick out there in the morning. The afternoon, some sunny breaks with a high of 3. Wednesday is partly cloudy and -2, but Thursday, big mess. Snow, ice pellets, and freezing rain in the morning. That will continue as wet snow mixed with rain through the evening on Thursday, a high of 0. So travel is going to be impacted, as well as Friday, because that day we get into the cold backside of this system, gusty north winds, snow and blowing snow. It will be accumulating. We've got a high of -4, wind chill -12. Friday night's wind chill down to -23. Tonight we're dropping to a low of -1 degree.
How's it accumulating in the
right now, partly cloudy, 2 degrees at Pearson, partly cloudy and 1.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Bellier Brothers. Bellier Brothers,
She
experts in
keeps track of all these different combinations of words
since
she uses.
1908.
Changes
Save
them up
energy with a
every
high
fucking
efficiency
time.
combination boiler.
Snow and blowing snow, but it's going to be, how is it accumulating if it's blowing?
Buying a new home? Then Caitlin Homes has a variety of innovative incentive offers for you. Choose from a selection of Caitlin inventory homes and offers that best suit your unique needs, like 0% interest, exclusive Caitlin Homes rebates up to $40,000,
volleyball,
plus the rent-to-own programs.
Basketball,
yes, you can own a new
lacrosse,
home in
and hockey.
Bowmanville.
That's
But
5
these
sports.
incentives won't last long. Limited inventory available. For more details, visit CaitlinCorp.com. Certain conditions apply. When a winter storm hits,
the 680 News Extreme Weather Center jumps into action.
your trusted source when you need to know.
With the latest forecast, delays on your commute,
And whether schools are open or closed.
the 680 News Extreme Weather Center.
Brought to you by Subaru, Confidence in Motion, and Air Transat. Vacation is calling.
Exclusively on 680 News and 680news.com.
If you think you hate potholes, the city of Toronto says they hate them more. City workers hit the pavement over the weekend to prove it. A Saturday blitz of pothole repairs saw 7,634 holes
How do
filled
you
in
have
about 12
pothole
hours.
crews on the
Crews
road
began
right
at
now?
5 a.m. Saturday to avoid as much traffic as they could, tackling the DVP and Gardner Expressway first. The city's count for total pothole repairs for this winter alone is just a few shy of 31,000. In 60 seconds, we'll have your business report.
680 straight through to the next
At
level.
Muskoka Woods, they believe that reflecting on positive experiences
They don't
helps
want us
kids
to
grow
see
in
that.
confidence, and that starts with fun.
The best thing about Muskoka Woods is probably the wide array of activities they offer. For me, fun is art, and I love the artistic activities. I like that because it's a really social time, so you get to know your friends better.
Great staff, activities, and facilities like no other, combined for unlimited confidence-boosting fun. Muskoka Woods, experience for a lifetime. Visit MuskokaWoods.com.
Muskoka Woods.
Nice on horse you got there.
And she can run forever.
Huh, kind of like one of them TELUS Peace of Mind Connect plans with endless data.
You're telling me it's all giddy up and no woe?
Don't know the meaning of woe.
Endless data on your phone,
All your devices, actually.
tablets, and watches and whatnot?
Yes, sir.
Whoa, reckon I ought to mosey on over. Yeah, to TELUS.
Or you could visit TELUS.com/peace of mind. 10:56.
Now, time for your business report. Here is Richard Southern.
Good evening. Expect to see more Adam Sandler on Netflix. The streaming giant announcing that Sandler and his Happy Madison Productions have reached a new deal to make more films. Sandler just wrapped up a deal with Netflix that saw him produce 5 films for the company, along with a stand-up special. Netflix said it's excited to have him back, and you can see why.
So
The company
there's
actually said Sandler's
7.5 hours.
mystery
It's a
movie
work
starring
day's worth of
Jennifer
fucking
Aniston
Sandler movies
was the
coming out.
most watched movie on Netflix in the United States last year. It was one of the most popular in 8 other countries. Netflix stock up 3.75%, topping $358. Well, Mr. Peanut lives on. Do you remember Planters Peanut? They
This is
supposedly
strange.
killed off Mr. Peanut in a commercial a few weeks ago. There was a tragic accident involving his Mr. Peanut mobile. Well, in the conclusion to its Super Bowl ad campaign, Mr. Peanut actually rose from the dead during a commercial shown during the big game last night. At Mr. Peanut's supposed funeral, a plant began to grow, eventually sprouting a baby peanut.
Baby nuts?
Planters actually put this whole ad campaign on hold for a while following the death of Kobe Bryant. All right, on to the markets today. We actually had a winning session after a sizable sell-off on Friday. The TSX today was up 61 points to 17,379. As even with gold lower down to $1,582. The Dow up 143 points, 28,399. S&P was up 23. That's 0.75%. And the Nasdaq up 122. Earnings in after the close from Alphabet, the Google parent company. The revenue number missing the mark at $46.08 billion. Bottom line at $15.35 per share was better than expected. The stock was down about 3% in the after-hours trading session. Canadian dollar at 75.21 cents US. This is 680 News.
I wasn't expecting to be diagnosed with cancer,
To take my child to emergency.
to have to put Dad in long-term care. I also wasn't expecting my doctor to be so compassionate while I cried.
To give a lollipop to my son as we discussed the surgery.
To help me communicate what's happening to my dad. You can expect Ontario's doctors to be there when you need them. We're committed to putting you at the center of our care because we are Ontario's doctors and we're leading you to better health. Brought to you by the Ontario Medical Association.
I got a call from some company called Numeris. Probably another survey.
Wait, you need to take that call. You love radio and TV, right?
Yeah, so?
Yeah, so? Wouldn't you like to have a say in how to shape it? Numeris are the ones that gather that information.
Really?
Yeah, Numeris. Take the call.
All right, I will.
Have your say. Brought to you by Radio Connects. Learn more at numeris.ca and be a part of all the great stuff you listen to and watch.
Now, 680 News regional weather conditions for IA Clarington Investments, where we believe in the value of active management to navigate today's complex markets. Visit iaclarington.com.
In Brampton, +1, partly cloudy. Milton, 0 and mostly cloudy. Downtown Toronto, 3 degrees, partly cloudy, feels like -1. 680 news time, 11 o'clock.
Number one for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Here are Scott Burnett and Caitlin Lee.
Good evening. This is Monday, February 3rd.
Here's what's making news this hour.
Hong Kong reports its first death from coronavirus as total cases worldwide surpass 20,000.
A WestJet flight bound for Montego Bay returns to Toronto after a man stands up and tells the crew and passengers that he had the coronavirus. Autopsies are now complete on 3 young men, including an up-and-coming Toronto rapper, killed at an Airbnb party. Toronto's 5,000 outside workers could find themselves locked out or on strike in 3 weeks. The countdown is on as the city of Toronto requests a no-board report.
Goalie Freddie Anderson leaves the game injured. The Maple Leafs collapse and the Raptors looking to make franchise history this week. Sports at 15.
Prices for face masks skyrocketing. We're looking at the prices they're going for. U.S. government picking up over the big razor company. And the main Wall Street stock market's higher. Business at 27.
680 news time, 11:01.
Traffic and weather together on the ones at the traffic center. Carly Donahue.
This report's brought to you by Mark Feldstein and Associates. It's now been half an hour since the crew said this issue on the northbound 400 was going to wrap up, so I can guess that it's going to be there for a little bit longer than we thought, but we'll keep you updated on that. In the meantime, north of King Road, all but one line lanes are closed off right now due to some sinkhole emergency repairmen, so it's backed up quite a bit, about 4 kilometers right now all the way to King Road. If you want to avoid this, get off at King, and then you can take either Jane or Weston up to Aurora Road and get back onto the northbound 400. Otherwise, on that highway, the ramps to Highway 89 are shut down at this time. On the eastbound 401, there's no access to the highway from northbound McCowan, and then at Kingston Road and the Express, we have 2 left lanes shut down for maintenance. Westbound on the 401 at Bayview, the Collector 2 Express transfer is shut down for construction, and then at Leslie and the Collectors, 2 left lanes are closed off as well. The westbound Finch ramp to the southbound 427 is blocked off for some maintenance work, and other than that, major routes are in good shape right now. Really, the only place we're seeing delays is on that northbound 400 problem. On our city streets in Ajax, north and southbound Westney from Ritchie to Kingston Road is closed for a collision. And then in Brampton, east and westbound Queen, east of Mississauga Road is down to a single lane. For all your personal and corporate tax accounting needs, call Mark Feldstein and Associates Chartered Professional Accountants. Call now from your mobile at Pound Tax or online at markfeldstein.ca. Your next report 11:11 with the forecast. Natasha Ramsahai.
Increasing cloud tonight and after midnight. Watch for some flurries, even some freezing drizzle at times as we drop to -1, wind chill -6. But that means untreated surfaces will be a bit slick and icy out there in the morning. The afternoon is dry for that drive home. Some sunny breaks with a high near 3 degrees. Tonight we're down to a low of -1.
Right now in downtown Toronto, it is 3 degrees, partly cloudy, feeling like -1, and at Pearson +1 feels like -4 and partly cloudy. 680 news time, 11:03.
Big breaking news out of Hong Kong, where authorities are reporting the first death from coronavirus in that region. Worldwide, over 20,000 people are sick with the illness. In Ontario, dozens are being tested, and public health officials here say there are no new cases of the illness in this province.
Meantime, a Thornhill man is facing charges after a bizarre incident on a WestJet flight involving a passenger claiming to have the coronavirus. 680's Phil Martino has more.
Peel Regional Police Constable Bancroft Wright says what happened on WestJet Flight 2702 to Montego Bay turned out to be a prank.
The flight had taken off from Pearson. We learned that at some point during the flight, a male stood up in the plane and announced that he was in China and has the coronavirus.
The pilot turned the plane around and returned to Toronto. The man was taken into custody. WestJet spokesperson Morgan Bell says they sincerely apologized to the 243 guests who were affected by what she describes as an unfortunate situation.
Out of an abundance of caution, our crew followed all protocols for infectious disease on board, including sequestering that individual.
A 29-year-old Thornhill man is charged with mischief. I'm Phil Martino.
Meantime, the number of Canadians looking to leave Wuhan, China, the epicenter of the outbreak, continues to grow, which is why the Trudeau government is expanding their evacuation plans.
304 Canadians are now asking the government to help them flee the lockdown Wuhan region. While the feds have a plane on standby in Vietnam, Foreign Affairs Minister François-Philippe Champagne says there are some capacity concerns.
Should we miss a few seats, we have secured a second plane. We bought an option over the weekend to have a second plane ready to go.
But evacuation plans are on hold as we await final approvals from Chinese authorities. Health Minister Patty Hajdu says when the green light is given, Chinese officials will screen the passengers at the airport.
Travelers will undergo a second screening by Canadian Forces medical staff before being allowed to board.
The flight will head to CFB Trenton in Ontario, where passengers will be quarantined for 2 weeks, being provided both physical and mental supports as they're monitored for symptoms. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
6:80 news time, 11:05. Toronto police now know how 3 young men were killed after a weekend party at a downtown Airbnb turned violent. 680's Karen Siolan has more.
Autopsies are now complete, and they show the 3 men died from gunshot wounds. Police say 20-year-old Joshua Gibson Skier and 21-year-old Jalen Colley, both from Brampton, were shot in the stomach and throat. Also shot and killed 19-year-old Tyrone Noseworthy, an up-and-coming Toronto rapper. His marks the latest death from the hip-hop community due to gun violence. Adam Ellis is a PhD candidate in criminology. He tells City News the cause of the violence cannot be attributed to one factor.
It's really complex. It's not just to say, oh, every rapper in the city of Toronto or every rapper in any urban city is problematic and criminal and all these things. It just doesn't work that way.
The gunfire erupted Friday night at an Airbnb in City Place that was being used for a birthday party. The shooters are among the dead, but only 2 deaths are considered homicides. I'm Karen Siolan.
Toronto police blocked a stretch of Don Mills Road north of Eglinton earlier this evening after a vehicle was shot at while driving. It happened around 8:30. Police telling 680 News no injuries were reported. All roads in the area have since reopened.
680 news time, 11:07. Happening now, another scheduled subway closure tonight. This time on Line 2, the Bloor-Danforth line. Services ended between Keele and Ossington for subway corridor maintenance. Shuttle buses are running instead. Regular service will resume for the morning commute. It's the first of 4 nightly closures this week.
Talks have broken off between the province and OECTA, the union representing English Catholic teachers here in Ontario, meaning members across the province will be on the picket lines tomorrow. They'll be joined by public elementary teachers and several boards as well, including Peel and Durham. Several public high school boards also holding one-day strikes, including York and Halton. Meantime, there were several walkouts today. Millie Shake of City News spoke with elementary teachers in Halton who were on the picket line.
We were told that things had broken down. I wasn't really surprised because of how the government has been treating us.
Elementary school teachers back on the picket lines, this time in Oakville. They're part of the Halton School Board, just one of 7 boards also striking today.
It's really disappointing overall. After the 3 days of negotiations, I was feeling really hopeful. I would much rather be in my classroom today, but we're still here fighting for what we believe in.
Some of the major issues are classroom sizes, mandatory e-learning, and also wages. Teachers want a 2% increase, something the province isn't budging on.
We've been very clear right from the beginning that we were offering a 1% increase in compensation. That's where we have to be. That's, of course, across the entire public sector in the province of Ontario.
Public elementary teachers will now be walking out at each board twice a week. Teachers in nearly all the major unions will be striking this week. For a full list, you can check them out at 680news.com.
From garbage collection to maintenance workers to paramedics, the union representing around 5,000 of Toronto's outside workers poised to strike later this month.
The request launches a countdown towards a potential work stoppage beginning in the 3rd week of February. Brad Ross with the City of Toronto says they've been negotiating with QP416 for months and have yet to agree on issues of job security, wages, benefits, and parental leave.
Our goal has always been to reach a fair and reasonable negotiated settlement that is good for our employees, fair for our employees, and affordable for people of Toronto.
In a statement, the president of the union says in part, quote, all along, we have been reasonable in trying a deal that protects services and respects the work our members do. Our proposals are affordable and sustainable, which is what the city claims they want, unquote. The union represents 5,000 outside workers, including paramedics, parking enforcement, and some garbage collectors. I'm Michelle Mackey.
Oh, you don't want those guys going on strike.
This is 680 News.
I'm here with Bill Coy of Coy Brothers, and we're talking about his Dutch wooden shoes.
Actually, we're talking about clogs.
Dutch wooden shoes, wouldn't listen.
Clogs, you know best, Bill.
I do, especially when it comes to spreader operators and the clogs they deal with. The SnowX Salter, with the newly redesigned Helix material delivery system, pulls the salt to the spinner without clogs, delivering overall better material flow.
It all sounds Dutch to me. Just get a SnowX Salter at Coy Brothers.
KOOYBRS.com.
And don't forget to bring your wallet.
Now the 680 News gas price update. Pro predicts the price will not change at midnight, holding it at $1.09.9 cents a liter.
680 News Time, 11:10.
There are lots of ways to treat your cold symptoms. You can carry around a spoon and syrup, or try alternative methods. How about those lozenges? Why not drop all that for a different way? Cold drops, just one drop with a naturally sourced ingredient for temporary symptom relief of cough, sore throat, and nasal congestion.
Relief with just one drop. Cold Drops.
For a retailer near you, visit colddrops.com. This product may not be right for you. Always read and follow the label.
Everyone is talking about the hit musical sensation Come From Away. It's a true story. Thousands of people stranded in a small town in Newfoundland on 9/11, and the locals, they opened up their homes. What happened that week? The kindness, the resilience, the joy reminds us all what it is to be human. Come From Away, now in its second smash year in Toronto. Get tickets at mervish.com.
680 News Time, 11:11.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Carly Donahue.
This report's brought to you by Marquee Jewelers. We've been getting traffic spotters calling in, one specifically that was coming on the southbound 400 who passed by this mess on the northbound 400 and said it's almost come to a complete stop. So once again, north of King Road on the northbound 400, 2 out of the 3 lanes are blocked. Only 1 live lane is getting through, but it seems like it might not even completely be getting through. They might be starting and stopping, letting cars through there. So you're going to want to avoid this area. The backup is about 4 kilometers long right now. It was supposed to be closed off reopened rather, about 40 minutes ago, but that doesn't look like it's happening. So get off at Kingside Road, either take Jane or Weston northbound, and then you can get back onto the highway at Aurora Road. Otherwise, you're going to be trapped behind those delays. On the 400 north as well, there's no access to Highway 89 at this time. Jumping onto the 401, if you're traveling westbound at Bayview, the collector to express transfers blocked off for maintenance. And then at Leslie, the collector in the collectors, 2 left lanes are blocked as well. The northbound McCowan ramp to the eastbound 401 is shut down for construction. And then at Kingston Road and the Express, 2 left lanes are closed as well. We do not have access to the southbound 427 from westbound Finch. That ramp has been shut down for construction. Find the perfect gift for your Valentine at Marquee Jewelers retirement sale. Get 40 to 70% off all fine jewelry. Visit 2 Bloor Street West inside the Cumberland Terrace now. Your next report, 11:21 with the forecast, Natasha Ramsahai.
Icy in spots overnight tonight and into the morning commute, and that's because we've got a few flurries and some freezing drizzle out there. So we're really kind of talking about those road surfaces and sidewalks that are left untreated tonight. We're going to start the day off at -1. The afternoon is dry, a couple of sunny breaks in there with a high of 3 degrees. And Wednesday, the last dry day of the week, partly cloudy skies with a seasonal high of -2, feeling like -7. Tonight, we're down to a low of -1 degree. Right now in downtown Toronto, 2 degrees, partly cloudy. At Pearson, it is +1 and partly cloudy. 680 News Time, 11:13.
Conservative radio host Rush Limbaugh making a big announcement on his show this afternoon.
I have been diagnosed with advanced lung cancer.
Limbaugh says he will take some days off for further medical tests and to determine treatment. Despite a serious illness, he plans to keep on working though, but will occasionally take days off. In 60 seconds, we'll recap your top stories.
680 News Time, 11:14.
Auf Wiedersehen. Arrivederci. Ciao. Adios. No matter where in the world you or your customers are, you can say goodbye to boundaries thanks to Adyen, the payments platform that supports payments across the globe. From New York to Shanghai, from Singapore to Sao Paulo, reach more customers in more places with Adyen, the payments platform of choice for the world's leading companies. Adyen. Business, not boundaries. Learn more at adyen.com. That's ADYEN.com.
Find the candidate that fits. Maxis Staffing and Consulting is a professional staffing and solutions firm offering the best in innovative and creative professional service needs. With 12,000 candidates in their system, Maxis has the right person to fit your needs, environment, and culture. Help us help you. Hire Maxis, and you will be hiring within the military community, and you'll be getting the best of the best. Maxis Staffing and Consulting, presenting sponsor of the 2020 Garrison Ball. Visit maxsys.ca today.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
Partly cloudy and 2 degrees right now in downtown Toronto. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Scott Burnett.
And I'm Caitlin Lee. Here are the top stories this hour.
Hong Kong confirming its first death from coronavirus as cases worldwide top 20,000. Unfortunately, not everyone is taking it seriously. A 29-year-old Thornhill man allegedly stood up on a WestJet flight from Toronto to Montego Bay this afternoon and shouted he had coronavirus. That plane turned around. The man was taken into custody and charged with mischief. And subway service has ended for the night on a stretch of Line 2, the Bloor-Danforth line from Keele to Ossington stations for scheduled corridor maintenance. It's the first of 4 scheduled early closures this week through to Thursday night. Now, 680 Sports from Sportsnet 590 Van, Andy McNamara.
Thank you very much. Well, the Maple Leafs look to be in full control of the Panthers to begin the third period.
Hyman rolls it in front, they score! Austin Matthews! Number 37 on the year, 1 away from the NHL's lead.
Joe Bull with the call on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. That made it 3-1 Toronto, but then the wheels fell off as Florida scored 4 unanswered goals to win at 5-3. Leafs lost goaltender Freddie Anderson with an upper body injury at the end of the first period. Other blue and white tallies came from Tavares and Nylander. They'll battle the Rangers in New York next on Wednesday. Finals in the NHL, Stars beat the Rangers 5-3. Flyers shut out Detroit 3-0. And Raptors head coach Nick Nurse was named the Eastern Conference Coach of the Month for January. They'll get back on the floor Wednesday against Indiana. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
Hi, I'm Brian Scudamore from 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
You only brought 2 of them?
These 2 can do anything.
Are you saying those online reviews are real?
Point at something you wish would disappear, ma'am.
Well, I'd like to see that gone. Those online reviews are real. What are you doing now?
Junk always leaves a footprint, so I'm sweeping up the spot where it was.
Wow.
Our goal is to bring the springtime and give you more space for living.
I could use some extra space right here. And here. And here. Gosh, that was easy.
All you have to do is point.
You were here in less than 90 minutes.
And we work until midnight, 7 days a week.
Well, now I have a new problem.
Oh?
If I write an online review and tell the truth about what just happened, no one's going to believe me.
Welcome to our world, ma'am. When you want junk to disappear, all you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
680 News Time, 11:18.
Happening now in Iowa, the first contest of the 2020 presidential election taking place. The Iowa caucuses, the Iowa Democratic Party saying it's experiencing a delay in reporting results because of unspecified quality checks. Recent polling has shown a 4-way race between Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, former Vice President Joe Biden, and South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg. ABC's Brad Milkey reporting from one caucus in a suburb of Des Moines.
They're literally getting handed these preference cards right now. On one side, the number 1 and a big blank spot, but the organizers here are pleading with people. They're saying, please do not fill these cards out yet. These are supposed to be a reflection of the end of the first round, and guess what? We haven't started caucusing yet.
Officials say technology appears to be contributing to this delay. The legal teams have made their final pitches in the impeachment trial against U.S. President Donald Trump. Senators will vote later this week.
The president's lawyers argue the impeachment is aimed at overturning the last election and interfering in this November's. And it's not up to the Senate to pick the commander-in-chief.
Leave it to the voters to choose their president.
The lead House impeachment manager, Adam Schiff, mocked White House counsel Pat Cipollone's argument.
He's guilty as sin, but can't we just let the voters decide?
Schiff says no, because they know the president cheated to win one election and will do it again.
100%.
It takes a 2/3 vote to remove the president, meaning his acquittal is all but certain in the GOP-led Senate come Wednesday.
Sagar Meghani, Washington.
The Trudeau government is reportedly going to give the courts the power to seize guns from people it deems as a threat to themselves or others. Public Safety Minister Bill Blair tells the Globe and Mail the so-called red flag law will be included in the upcoming gun control legislation and will allow officials like police, lawyers, doctors, even educators to petition the courts for a gun seizure when they feel someone is at risk. The minister says the aim is to prevent potentially dangerous situations from turning deadly. The Trudeau government is working on a wide-ranging gun control strategy, which will include a prohibition on military-style assault weapons, giving cities the power to ban handguns, and introducing a national gun buyback program. Up in 60 seconds, traffic in your extended forecast.
680 News Time, 1120.
There's always been two ways to invest. You do it yourself, or you hand over your money and your control. But what if there's a smarter way to invest? BMO Advice Direct keeps you in control while giving you easy-to-follow advice and trade recommendations personalized to your portfolio. And it's the only digital investment product of its kind. Get up to $2,000 when you sign up for Advice Direct today. To learn more, visit BMO Advice Direct online. Conditions apply. Advice Direct is a product of BMO Investor Line.
At Pizza Nova, there's something for every pizza lover. Create your own masterpiece with some of our vegan or vegetarian options that include our dairy-free mozzarella, our gluten-free multigrain dough, and our gourmet vegetarian toppings. Ciao, I'm Dominic Dimucci, and I invite you to taste the difference.
680 News Time, 1121.
Traffic and weather together on the ones at the traffic center. Cody Donahue.
This report's brought to you by the 407 ETR. Right now on the northbound 400, we do still have this problem. It's almost been an hour since crew said it was going to clear up. So I would take that with a grain of salt right now that it might actually just be there a little bit longer than we thought. North of King Road, what's exactly happening is emergency sinkhole road work. So they're filling up a sinkhole. They've closed off every single live lane except for the left one, but traffic spotters are calling saying traffic is going on and off again with being at a full stop and then slowly squeezing through. So it's a really slow drive, about 5 kilometers now of a backup. So you're going to want to get off the highway at Kingside Road. You can take Jane or Weston northbound and then get back onto the highway at Aurora Road. That's probably your best option right now. If you're also on the northbound 400, the ramps to Highway 89 are shut down for some maintenance. On the westbound 401 this evening at Bayview, the Collector to Express transfer shut down for construction. We've also got at Leslie and the Collectors 2 left lanes closed for some maintenance work. The northbound McCowan ramp to the east 401 is closed off at this time. And then at Kingston Road on the eastbound 401 in the Express, 2 left lanes are shut down as well. Westbound QEW at Winston Churchill, 2 left lanes are blocked for construction. And on the southbound 427, there's no access to that highway from westbound Finch. This year, 407 ETR is adding 30 kilometers of new lanes to keep up with increasing traffic and keep your commute fast, safe, and reliable. Visit 407etr.com. Your next report is at 11:31. And now with the forecast, here's Natasha Ramsahai.
Cloud cover rolling in overnight tonight, and out of that cloud will come some flurries, some freezing drizzle. We'll start off at -1. Watch for icy spots out there in the morning. The afternoon will break out into a bit of sunshine and mild again at 3 degrees. Wednesday, we're back to seasonal at -2, partly cloudy skies, and that's going to be our last dry day. A Wednesday overnight into the Thursday morning commute, we've got to watch for snow, switching to ice pellets and freezing rain, and through the day, Thursday, we've got that wet snow, even mixing with rain late in the evening. So a little bit of everything. It is going to slow travel all day long. Thursday's high 0. And then on the backside of that system on Friday, very gusty north winds. It's going to be colder. Snow and blowing snow, reducing visibility and impacting travel. The high Friday, -4, wind chill -12. Wind chills Saturday morning back to -23. Tonight, we're down to a low of -1 degree. Right now in downtown Toronto, we're sitting at 3 degrees. Partly feeling like -1. At Pearson, it's +1. Feels like -4 and partly cloudy.
When you get to that level, it doesn't matter if it's wind chill or whatever.
Hong Kong announcing its first death from coronavirus in the region as cases worldwide top 20,000. And just a prank, bro. Well, this prank landed a 29-year-old Thornhill man with a court case next month after he stood up on a WestJet flight to Montego Bay this afternoon and shouted that he had the virus. Our Phil Martino will have a look ahead straight ahead.
6:80 news time, 11:24.
The holidays are over, and it's time to take care of all those bills.
The resources,
Payday loan company.
the money,
Go
and
to
all that.
borrowwithyourcard.com.
The wherewithal to get passport and get down to the airport and try. Clear security. How the fuck do you clear security?
Remember,
Just one click.
You get on a flight to Jamaica.
you get great rates on a loan that actually works towards improving your credit score. Remember Prudent Financial, your trusted equity lender since 1984.
Borrowwithyourcard.com.
680 News. Listen on the go with the Radio Player Canada app.
Download now on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store.
Somebody employs them.
Traffic and weather
No matter where you are.
with the Radio Player Canada app and 680 News.
5 questions still unanswered into a mysterious group which paid big money to take out full-page ads in 3 national newspapers over the weekend, speaking out against Ontario's teachers' unions amidst the ongoing labor unrest.
Look, these ads have all the hallmarks of a Doug Ford smear campaign.
The NDP's critic for ethics and accountability, Taras Nadashak, wants to know who or what is Vaughan Working Families.
Whoever placed these ads want us to know where they're from, but they don't want us to know who they are.
That group appears to be fake.
Unless they're
Nadashak
lying
also
about what
calling
city
the
it
ads
is.
illegal because they violate Elections Ontario regulations, he says. An Elections Ontario rep says the agency cannot comment on what it does or does not investigate. A statement from the spokesperson for Education Minister Stephen Lecce
these
says only,
newspapers
quote,
don't
the
know what
government was
ads
not
are
aware
illegal?
of the advertisements and not familiar with the group Vaughan Working Families, unquote. At Queen's Park, I'm Mark Douglas.
There's an app for finding ghosts and an app that makes you old. There's even an app that lets you talk to an animated hippo. Isn't it time you got an app you actually use? Download the Presto app and stay on top of your daily commute. Presto, tap on. With AutoLoad, reloading your Presto card is as easy as not going to the gym. In fact, it's probably even easier, because instead of that guilty feeling you get when you skip leg day, you get the bliss of knowing you'll always have enough fare wherever you go. Presto, tap on.
Hey, John, how's your business doing?
Numero uno.
I don't understand. I thought you said your business needed help getting more customers.
Numero uno.
What do you mean, numero uno?
I mean, the team at Numero Uno helped turn my business around. With their simple online strategies, I have more leads, more customers, and more sales than ever.
Sounds like the numero uno team really know their stuff.
That's why they're Numero Uno.
To see how numero uno can get your business more customers, visit numerounoweb.com today. That's numerounoweb.com.
The business report brought to you by Questrade.
Good evening. Google reporting earnings. Its parent company Alphabet opening up its books, revealing a better than expected bottom line for the fourth quarter, though the top line missed the mark. And for the first time, it's breaking out YouTube ad revenues, and they're quite big. Anthony Acoli is with TD Bank.
The YouTube revenues came in about, I believe it's $15 billion. Overall, they had a very strong earnings. They did beat on the top line. They earned $15.35 a share, above the expected $12.53. The revenue, though, did come in less than expected.
We did see a little bit of weakness for Alphabet stock in the after-hours trade. All right, meantime, face masks intended to keep out the deadly coronavirus are only in short supply. They're also costing big money on Amazon. Medical face masks now selling for about $30, up from just $14 10 days ago. Anti-pollution masks jumping to $40 per tier from $15. A box of 100 disposable masks go for $30. Not bad, but Amazon puts the earliest delivery date in late February. Canadian dollar down to 75.25 cents US. This is 680 News.
Getting you where you need to go
faster.
The most traffic in Toronto. 680 News.
Hey, the bank called today about our RSP contributions.
I thought we decided to move them over to Questrade.
Well, we've got a lot on our plate right now.
We can't wait another year. The lower fees could mean over 100,000 more for us, for her, for our future.
For that, we can find a few minutes.
Save your retirement. See how you can retire wealthier with the Quest Wealth Portfolio's RRSP at questrade.com.
I wasn't expecting to be diagnosed with cancer,
To take my child to emergency.
to have to put Dad in long-term care. I also wasn't expecting my doctor to be so compassionate while I cried.
To give a lollipop to my son as we discussed the surgery.
To help
That
me
is
communicate
weird.
what's happening to my dad.
You can expect Ontario's
That right
doctors
there
to
would
be
make me
there when
not
you
want
need
him
them.
to
We're
operate.
committed to putting you at the center of our care
Why are you
because
giving him
we are
candy? We're
Ontario's
talking about something
doctors
important.
and we're
What's wrong
leading
with
you
you?
to better health. Brought to you by the Ontario Medical Association.
It's time for the 680 News Business Travelers Forecast, brought to you by the Canadian Women's Foundation. On Thursday, March 5th, have lunch and LOL with Emmy-nominated comedian Samantha Bee, live in Toronto. Funds raised support the Canadian Women's Foundation. Get your tickets at canadianwomen.org.
If you're heading to Vancouver tomorrow, expect a light rain, 0 degrees. In Dallas, Texas, overcast 9 degrees. Las Vegas, good luck, clear sunshine. Just a high of 3, though. Miami, Florida, partly cloudy and 22. And New York City, overcast at 11. 680 News Time, 11:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Here are Scott Burnett and Caitlin Lee. Good evening. It's Monday, February 3rd.
Here's what's making news right now.
The number of people sickened by coronavirus cracks 20,000. No new cases have been reported here in Ontario, but the first death has been reported in Hong Kong.
The pilot of a WestJet flight heading to Montego Bay is forced to turn around and come back to Pearson after a passenger stands up and announces he has the coronavirus.
You should have
As the
tackled his
federal
ass
government
and
awaits
restrained
final
him
approvals
somehow.
from Chinese authorities, it has
There's
chartered a
gotta be a roll
second
of duct
plane
tape
to
on
help
the jet
Canadians
line.
flee the
It has to.
epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak.
Police now know how 3 young men were killed after a weekend party at a downtown
Gunshots.
Airbnb
Thank
turned
you.
violent.
Leafs
Thank
lose
you,
more than just the
Ministry-
game, and Raptors head coach Nick
Provincial
Nurse is the
Ministry of
NBA's Eastern Conference Coach of the Month. Sports at 45.
Back in business, stocks move higher following Friday's sell-off. Commodities, including oil, though under pressure. Business at 56.
11:31.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here is Carly Donahue. This report's brought to you by Sportsnet. Right now, we are still seeing this problem northbound on the 400, so just north of King Road. 2 out of the 3 lanes are closed off.
I don't know
for
which
some
guy killed which
emergency
guy,
work.
which
They're
one
actually
shot
repairing
back.
a sinkhole, so crews said it was going to be done an hour ago. That is obviously
2
not the
guns.
case, so we'll
3
keep you
guys
updated
shot
on
dead.
this
4 guys shot.
clears up,
5
but for
guys.
now, you're
5
going to want to avoid
casualties.
the North 400, anything
2
north
of
of
the
King
3
Road.
dead,
So get
shot
off the
dead
King
are
Side Road, you can
homicides.
take
That's a
Gator
murder
Weston
mystery.
up to Aurora Road, and you'll avoid the stretch of delays. It's about 4 kilometers long right now, and it's pretty
You
much
make a fucking
at a
shitty
snail's
movie
pace. So
about
I would
that.
just suggest getting off the highway. It's much easier. Otherwise, northbound on the 400, the
You have
ramps
to
to
turn it
Highway
backwards
89 are
and
shut down at
start
this
with
time.
the incident, and
Westbound
then-
on the 401 at Bayview, the Collector 2 express transfers closed off. And then at Leslie and the Collectors, we have 2 left lanes blocked for some maintenance as well. The northbound McCowan ramp to the eastbound 401 is shut down for some maintenance work. And then at Kingston Road in Ajax, the express, we have 2 left lanes blocked off there. Westbound on the QEW at Winston Churchill, 2 left lanes are closed. We're not seeing delays in that area. And then you won't have access to the southbound 427 from westbound Finch. Tim and Sid are also on the radio. Listen live weekday afternoons from 5 to 7 on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Your next report's at 11:41. And now with the forecast, here's Natasha Ramsahai.
Temperatures tonight dropping to -1. We are going to cloud back over, and out of that cloud will come a little bit of flurry activity as well as some freezing drizzle. And that means it could be icy, a little bit slick out there for that morning commute. The afternoon will be drier and some sunny breaks in there. A light northwest breeze with a high near 3 degrees. Tonight we're dropping to a low of -1, wind chill -6 by morning.
Downtown Toronto right now, overcast and 2 degrees, partly cloudy and 2 at Pearson Airport. 680 News Time, 11:33.
There are now over 20,000 confirmed cases of coronavirus worldwide. And new numbers out of mainland China tonight show the death toll has hit 425. Hong Kong also reporting its first death. Here at home, dozens of patients are being tested, but for now, public health officials say there are no new cases of the illness in Ontario.
Meantime, a WestJet flight returned to Toronto today after a man stood up and announced that he had the coronavirus. 680's Phil Martino with more.
Peel Regional Police Constable Bancroft Wright says WestJet Flight 2702 had taken off from Pearson and was heading to Montego Bay. When halfway through the flight, a man stood up and advised crew and passengers that he was in China and that he had the coronavirus.
It's our understanding that it was a prank.
Prank or not, the pilot turned around and returned to Toronto, and the man was taken into custody. WestJet spokesperson Morgan Bell says, out of an abundance of caution, the crew followed all protocols for infectious disease on board.
Obviously, we sincerely apologize to the 243 guests who were affected by the situation.
WestJet has added an extra flight to Montego Bay to make up for the flight that returned to Toronto. A 29-year-old Thornhill man has been charged with mischief. His name is not being released until Latino.
When that plane pulled
680 News Time, 11:34. Canada's evacuation plans for Canadians stuck in the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak are still on hold, but the number of people seeking help is growing.
As quickly as we can. That's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on the efforts to help those under lockdown in the Wuhan region of China. Plans are in place and a plane is on standby in Vietnam, but with 304 Canadians now asking to leave, the feds have chartered a second plane just in case they need it. However, Foreign Affairs Minister Francois Philippe Champagne says they're still awaiting final approvals.
The airspace in Yuan is currently closed, so we need special dispensation for a plane to land.
Health Minister Patty Hajdu says passengers will be screened by both Chinese and Canadian officials, and if they show symptoms, they won't be allowed to board.
We have no indication that any of the Canadians asking for help are ill right now.
The final destination is CFB Trenton, where passengers will be quarantined for 2 weeks. McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
Autopsies now complete on 3 young men killed during an Airbnb party at downtown High-Rise over the weekend. 680's Karen Seelan has more from police.
Toronto police are still trying to piece together why a party at an Airbnb rental in City Place turned violent, but say preliminary autopsies show all 3 men were killed by gunfire. The shooters are among the dead, but only 2 deaths are considered homicides. Police say 20-year-old Joshua Gibson Skier and 21-year-old Jalen Colley, both from Brampton, died from gunshot wounds to the stomach and throat. A young Toronto rapper, Tyrone Noseworthy, was also shot and killed. The 19-year-old was one half of the rap duo the Talib Twins. Mayor John Tory says the Airbnb killings are tragic.
They're tragic both in the context of the loss of life, but also
in
the context of the trauma that is created for people living in that neighborhood who are, the vast majority law-abiding, respectful and respectable citizens.
Police are not looking for any suspects in the shooting.
That pay a lot of money to live there.
680 News Time, 11:36. Toronto police are investigating reports a vehicle was shot at while driving in North York. It happened around 8 o'clock this evening on Eglinton near Leslie. Constable Karen DeClute tells 680 News no injuries were reported.
Information received was that a vehicle was possibly shot at while driving on Eglinton. There were no reported injuries.
A stretch of Don Mills was closed for the investigation but has since reopened.
Arizona News Radio 680 1137.
What's the story?
Happening right now, no subway service on a stretch of line 2, the North and Fourth line. Shuttle buses are running between Keele and Ossington stations this hour for subway corridor maintenance. Regular service will resume tomorrow morning.
3 full-page ads with anti-teachers union messages appeared in weekend editions of the Star, the Globe and Mail, and the National Post.
You can't do
Speaking from
this.
680's Mark Douglas, the
But
Ontario
there's nobody
NDP
that
held
will
a formal
stop you from
investigation
placing
into
these
the
ads.
source of
So
those ads.
you have
The
the freedom
logo
to
on
break
the
the
ads
law.
claim they come from a group called Vaughan Working Families. Trouble is, there appears to be no such organizations.
I'm going to start the Vaughan Working Families Facebook page today.
Has the same motivation as the government because they're using the same talking points.
From the NDP, Taras Nadashak is the ethics and accountability critic. He claims these ads are illegal because they violate Elections Ontario regulations. An Elections Ontario rep says they cannot comment on which complaints they do or do not investigate. A one-sentence statement from the Education Minister, Stephen Lecce's
Why don't the
spokesperson
newspaper companies
says,
ever
quote,
get
the
reprimanded?
government was not aware of the advertisements and not familiar with the group Vaughan Working Families, unquote. At Queen's Park, I'm Mark Douglas.
The Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association met for one day of bargaining with the province today, but no deal was reached and no further dates are scheduled. Elected members will hold their second province-wide strike tomorrow, the same day the union representing high school teachers plans to resume its own series of rotating strikes. High schools will be closed tomorrow at 7 boards, including York Region and Halton. There are also rotating strikes scheduled tomorrow for public elementary schools in Peel and Durham.
Could Toronto's outside workers walk off the job soon? The city has requested a no board report triggering a countdown.
Rob Ross with the City of Toronto says the request was made in an effort to reach a timely settlement with QB416, the union representing outside workers.
It starts the clock ticking, so by the third week of February, both the city and the union will be in a strike or lockout position.
Some contract issues have been resolved over months of negotiations. However, the city says job security, wages, benefits, and parental leave are still on the table. A statement from QB416 reads in part, Toronto's outside city workers remain committed to negotiating a fair contract that protects city services as the City of Toronto tries to pave the way for privatization and contracting out of services. The union has been without contract since December 31st. I'm Michelle Mackey.
In 30 seconds, we'll check gas prices.
680 News Time, 11:39.
Coming soon to Hamilton, Mount Hope by Cachet Homes. Discover everything that you could hope for in a new master planned community of thoughtfully designed freehold towns and detached homes from the mid-400s. Designed with trails, parks, and green spaces connected to highways and Hamilton's urban center, Mount Hope offers everything that you could hope for in a new home from the mid-400s. Register now at cashmounthope.com. That's cashmounthope.com. Now the 680 News gas price update, and Pro predicts the price will not change at midnight, holding at $1.09.9 a liter at most GTA stations. Traffic and weather is next.
680 News Time, 11:40.
RedTag.ca. Escape the winter cold with RedTag.ca hot vacation deals. From last-minute getaways where you can save up to 50% off to trips planned out months in advance using RedTag.ca's lowest price calendar. Plus, now get air miles, reward miles on all vacation packages, including European packages. More rewards, more savings. Plan your perfect trip today at redtag.ca or call 1-866-5-REDTAG. Certain restrictions apply.
Redtag.ca. The cold, savage winds are upon us, and only Hyundai can save us now.
Then let us ready the heated seats, heated steering wheels, and fully remote starters.
Don't fear winter, love it. From the warmth of a new Hyundai. During Mississauga and Rexdale Hyundai's iHeart Winter event, enjoy no-charge all-wheel drive or don't pay for 90 days on select models. Plus, existing owners get up to $750 in loyalty incentives. Visit MississaugaHyundai.com and RexdaleHyundai.ca.
680 News Time, 11:41.
Time for traffic and weather together on the one
Says
series.
105.5 next
Thanks,
door.
Caitlin. This report's brought to you by
That can't be
Sunlight
right.
Financial.
This is
We might
124
have
and
some
133
good
on the
news
next
for you if you're traveling northbound on the 400. It looks like they are starting to clear up this road work that's been going on. So it's about an hour overdue now from when they said it was going to be done. But just north of King Road, unfortunately, we don't have cameras on this spot, but I can tell that the delays have cleared up for the most part. So it does seem as though they have cleared up the emergency road work. They were repairing a sinkhole, and now we will just keep you posted in the next report if that is 100% confirmed. But at least the delays have started to clear, but there are still some there. So if you want to avoid that completely, just get off of the highway at Kingside Road. You can take Jane or Weston north and then get back on the highway at Aurora Road until we have confirmation that this is gone. Otherwise, on the northbound 400, the ramps to Highway 89 are shut down at this time. Westbound on the 401 at Bayview, the collector to express transfers blocked off for some construction. We also have at Leslie in the collectors, 2 left lanes are closed, and that's for some maintenance as well. The northbound McCowan ramp to the east 401 is shut down for construction as well. And then at Kingston Road in the express, 2 left lanes blocked off over there. We do have the westbound Finch ramp to the southbound 427 closed off for maintenance. And then westbound on the QEW at Winston Churchill, 2 left lanes remain blocked off as well. Did you know contributing to an RRSP is a good way to save? Sun Life has great advice to help you build your future. Learn more at sunlife.ca. Your next report's at 11:51 with the forecast. Natasha Ramsahai.
-1 overnight tonight. We've got some freezing drizzle and some flurries, though, starting after midnight, but also lingering into that morning commute. So watch for slick spots, slow down, leave some extra travel time in the morning. You won't need that extra time, though, in the afternoon. It'll be dry. We'll get some sunny breaks with a high of 3 degrees. And then Wednesday, partly cloudy. A fair bit of sunshine through the middle of the day. It's dry with a high of -2. And so get all your outdoor activities done by Wednesday, because by Thursday, we're back into a snowy, wintry mess. Tonight, we're down to a low of -1.
Right now in downtown Toronto, we've got an overcast sky at 3 degrees. At Pearson, overcast and 2. 680 News Time, 11:43.
Happening now at the Iowa caucuses. Democratic Party officials in the U.S. holding a phone call with campaigns amid delays in reporting caucus results. Iowa kickstarts America's months-long primary season leading up to the national conventions. Candidate Joe Biden addressed his supporters moments ago.
Indications are, from our indications, it's going to be close. We're going to walk out of here with our share of delegates. We don't know exactly what it is yet, but we feel good about where we are.
This is the first time Democrats get to vote on who they want to represent them in a general election against current President Donald Trump.
680 News Time, 11:44.
Hi, I'm Ivanka Osmak from Sportsnet. With a job that starts late, a 2-year-old that starts early, and a new baby on the way, getting a great night's sleep was a challenge, to say the least. I love my sleep and I needed help, so I reached out to the sleep experts at Sleep Country. They were awesome. The first thing they did was fit me with the right pillow for my unique sleeping style. I thought all pillows were the same, but after I tested a few, they matched me with the BioSoy pillow, and I've never looked back. It features high-density memory foam that shapes to my head and neck to help take a load off my tired back. And you don't need to be pregnant to appreciate the all-natural hypoallergenic cover. Better pillow, better sleep, better me. Plus, it gets better. Right now, buy one BioSoy pillow at Sleep Country and get a second BioSoy pillow free. Restrictions apply. See store for details. Sleep Country, all for sleep.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
It is 2 degrees, feeling like -2 and partly cloudy. Good evening from the 680 News Broadcast Center in downtown Toronto. I'm Caitlin Lane.
I'm Scott Burnett here. The top stories this hour.
The number of coronavirus cases has surpassed 20,000. The number of people sick here in the province remains at 3, but Hong Kong reporting its first death from the illness. One man reportedly not taking the outbreak seriously. A flight from Toronto to Montego Bay had to return after a passenger stood up and declared he had the virus. A Thornhill man has now been arrested for mischief. Ontario's English Catholic school teachers going ahead with a province-wide strike tomorrow. Talks between the union and the province broke down again today, and you can expect some high schools, public high schools will be closed tomorrow at 7 boards, including York Region and Halton. And there are also rotating strikes scheduled tomorrow for public elementary schools in Peel and Durham.
Someone needs to come up with the Ontario Public Employees Strike Act.
Thank you very much. Well, losing goaltender Freddie Anderson to start the second period with an upper body injury proved to be the difference as the Panthers clawed back to snap the Maple Leafs 3-game winning streak.
Goes into the glove of Bobrovsky, and that ends the contest. A huge third period for the Florida Panthers, who score 4 unanswered goals and end up beating the Maple Leafs by a score of 5-3.
Joe Bull with the call on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. Leafs head into New York battling the Rangers next on Wednesday. Finals in the NHL, Stars beat the Rangers 5-3. Flyers shut out Detroit 3-0. The Raptors are off until Wednesday when they'll have a chance to set the franchise record for consecutive victories at 12. Won't be easy, though. This is the first of a home-and-home against conference rival Indiana. And Raps head coach Nick Nurse has won the Eastern Conference Coach of the Month award. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 11:47.
Hello, I'm Daryl Hayashi, a former tax auditor. You've been listening to my ads for the last 20 years. Dealing with Revenue Canada can be an emotional and difficult time for you. No wonder many of you out there have chosen to bury your head in the sand. Call me at 416-751-TAX-7. That's 416-751-TAX-7. Or email me at taxaudit@rogers.com. Let's get that sand out of your hair.
If you think Vikings are fearless, this is not true. During winter, Earl, the god of snow, will creep up on you with a nasty surprise. Even the mighty Thor shakes in his boots for this. Not cool, Earl. But Subaru from Japan made winter fun again with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Now we don't have Kijarte attack every time it snows.
Bring on winter in a Subaru. Hurry in for great rates from 0.99% at your Ontario Subaru dealer.
680 News Time, 11:48. The person accused of the death of York Regional Police Officer Garrett Stiles has pleaded guilty to manslaughter nearly 10 years after the crime happened. The man, known as SK, cannot be identified because he was only 15 at the time. Officer Stiles had pulled over a minivan in June of 2011. During the traffic stop, SK hit the gas, dragging the officer a distance before the van rolled and killed him. SK was originally convicted of first-degree murder in the summer of 2015, but was sentenced to 2 years probation with several conditions placed on his operation of a motor vehicle. However, last fall, the Court of Appeal for Ontario ordered a new trial following an appeal. SK has never been in jail. The judge in his first trial said at the time he had suffered enough because the crash also left him a quadriplegic, becoming a prisoner in his own body. The latest attempt at an HIV vaccine has failed as researchers announced they've stopped giving the experimental shots in a major study.
The study had enrolled more than 5,400 people since 2016 in South Africa, a country with one of the world's highest HIV rates. Last month, monitors checked how the study was going, and according to the U.S. National Institutes of Health, 129 HIV infections had occurred among the vaccine recipients, compared with 123 among those given a dummy shot. 2 other large studies in several countries are underway, testing a different approach to a possible HIV vaccine. Shelley Adler, Washington.
I could sell that.
In 1 minute, we'll check the roads as well as your extended forecast. 680 News Time, 11:50.
Hi, I'm Adam, founder of NewBorrow.com, and I started our company after I got fed up with the mortgage loan process. Turns out I wasn't alone. Thousands of homeowners wanted help.
They went above and beyond to help me get a line of credit. It was amazing service.
They treated me like a valued client and outperformed anyone I spoke to. Want to lower your mortgage payments and save a little money?
Use your home to get a loan with NewBorrow. Visit NewBorrow.com. License 13115.
I got a call from some company called Numeris, probably another survey.
Wait, you need to take that call. You love radio and TV, right?
Yeah, so?
Yeah, so? Wouldn't you like to have a say in how to shape it? Numeris are the ones that gather that information.
Really?
Yeah, Numeris. Take the call.
All right, I will.
Have your say. Brought to you by Radio Connects. Learn more at numeris.ca and be a part of all the great stuff you listen to and watch. 680 News Time, 11:51.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here is Carlin Donahue. This report is brought to you by Mark Feldstein and Associates. Good news for travelers going on the northbound 400. Everything has cleared up. So we did have just north of King Road, we had a couple lanes shut down, and that was causing some really significant backup for a couple of hours there. It was due to a sinkhole repair, but it seems they have repaired that sinkhole, and now everything is good to go. We're not seeing any delays in the area at this time. Otherwise, though, we do still have the ramps to Highway 89 shut down coming off the northbound 400. Southbound on the 400, we do have at Bayfield, the left lane closed off for construction, and then jumping on to the east and westbound 401. Right now, if you're traveling eastbound, there's no access to that part of the highway from northbound McCowan, and then at Kingston Road and Ajax in the Express, you'll find 2 left lanes closed off. Westbound 401 at Bayview, the collector to Express transfers blocked for some maintenance work, and then at Leslie, the collectors, we have 2 left lanes closed off, and that is once again for some construction work going on. Westbound QEW at Winston Churchill Boulevard, we have 2 left lanes blocked there. And on the eastbound QEW, the ramp to the 403 has a left lane closed. Southbound 427 at Finch, you'll find a right lane closed off with some construction crews in it. And then the westbound Finch ramp to the highway is closed for construction. For all your personal and corporate tax accounting needs, call Mark Feldstein and Associates Chartered Professional Accountants. Call from your mobile now with Pound Tax or online at markfeldstein.ca. Your next report's at 12:01 with the forecast. Natasha Rams will have
high. Temperatures still running a slightly above seasonal here for the next day, including tonight. We're down to a low of -1, but because we're just shy of the freezing mark, and with increasing cloud, we'll bring in some freezing drizzle and some flurries. It'll be a little bit slick out there in the morning. The afternoon, some sunny breaks with a high of 3. Wednesday is partly cloudy and -2, but Thursday, big mess. Snow, ice pellets, and freezing rain in the morning. That will continue as wet snow mixed with rain through the evening on Thursday, a high of 0. So travel is going to be impacted, as well as Friday, because that day we get into the cold backside of the system, gusty north winds, snow and blowing snow. It will be accumulating. We've got a high of -4, wind chill -12 for Friday night, wind chill down to -23. Tonight we're dropping to a low of -1 degree.
Big clouds
downtown overcast and 3 degrees at Pearson overcast and 2.
680 News Time, 11:54. This extended forecast is brought to you by Scotiabank. Investments feeling stuck? They don't need to be. Book an appointment with a Scotiabank advisor to energize your investing, because your investments can stand for so much more when they don't stand still.
Trend alert for the new year? Sleep. It's so hot right now. And the best part, it looks good on everyone. Can't say that about bangs.
Sleep better this year with Sleep Country's year-end model sale. Get amazing prices on select brand new beds in 2019 styles, colors, and fabrics, and our sleep experts will match you to your best sleep. Plus, get a Hot by Sealy Eurotop Queen mattress with extra back support, just $489. Hurry in store or online. It ends soon. Sleep Country, all for sleep.
At 680 News, we know weather.
And
15 shots.
If we're off by more than 3 degrees, we'll announce a lucky winner of our growing cash jackpot.
now, get more chances to win each month and vacation better with Sunwing.
Enter in February for your chance to win an all-inclusive vacation for 2 at the Rio Playa Blanca in Panama.
Enjoy luxurious beachside lounging and breathtaking panoramic views.
Enter the 680 News weather guarantee with Sunwing
At Rio Hotels and Resorts.
at 680news.com.
Police in Philadelphia have cleared Flyers mascot Gritty of an assault allegation. In late January, Flyers season ticket holder Chris Greenwell alleged that during a photo shoot back in November, the mascot punched his 13-year-old son. Greenwell said his son was diagnosed with a back bruise, but police now say an investigation determined the actions of Gritty did not constitute physical assault. And in 60 seconds, we'll have your business report.
680 News Time, 11:55.
Congestion is all cleared up, so if you're on the expressway, your
It's not
commute should be
assault.
as easy as switching to RBC.
Switching to RBC is the new easy. So easy that setting up bill payments is as simple as snapping a pic with the RBC mobile app. Open an all-inclusive account by February 27th. They get $300. Conditions apply.
It's me, the announcement system for Go Transit, here to announce kids 12 and under can now ride the Go for free. Kids can travel to Ripley's Aquarium for free. Did you know octopuses have 3 hearts? I did. I know everything. But I would give it all up just for one of those hearts. I'd learn to love. So one day I could understand the love parents have, knowing their kids can ride for free. Discover more at gotransit.com/kidsgofree.
Congestion's all cleared up, so if you're on the expressway, your commute should be as easy as switching to RBC.
Switching to RBC is the new easy. So easy that setting up bill payments is as simple as snapping a pic with the RBC mobile app. Open an all-inclusive account by February 27th. They get $300. Conditions apply.
680 News Time, 11:56.
Now time for your business report. Here is Richard Southard.
Good evening. For the first time ever, Google has revealed just how much money YouTube is bringing in. Google said YouTube's advertising revenue totaled $15 billion last year. And this ends a long-standing policy of keeping the video site's financials under wraps. The results came 14 years after Google bought YouTube for $1.6 billion. Ads on the video site now comprise 9% of Google's overall revenue. This news came to light as Google's parent company Alphabet reported earnings. Better than expected bottom line revenue, though, missing the mark, and the stock was a bit weaker in the after-hours trading session, down about 3%. I want to bring up oil because the price for Texas tea has really collapsed the last 2 weeks or so. Oil today closing at a 1-year low. It's all about the coronavirus, worry that a slowing global economy will have the world needing less oil. The price down $1.45 today to $50.11. It's down 17% this year. And the oil team,
Usually with the fears of coronavirus, we've seen consumption for oil in China plunge, some say as much as 20%. We're even seeing China's largest oil refinery offload millions of barrels of West African crude that it no longer needs. and that's really having an impact on the oil price, which is in bear market territory. It's down over 20% over the last month. So certainly we're seeing OPEC and its allies starting to react to this. They're looking to hold an emergency meeting on Tuesday, Wednesday to discuss some deeper cuts. So certainly some bad news for oil.
Even with oil's collapse, energy stocks on Bay Street are down just 2% on the year. They were actually positive today. The TSX up 61 points in the Monday trade to 17,379. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 143 to 28,399. S&P gained 23 points. The Nasdaq up 122. Tesla surging 19%. Canadian dollar 75.22 cents US. This is 680 News.
A wise man once said to treat your body like a temple. But what did he say about the temple you call home? Just like your body, only the best will do for your home. And Appliance Canada brings you premium and ultra-premium brands with the quality and craftsmanship you'd expect from the top names. Sub-Zero, Wolf, Thermador, Miele, Gaggenau, Heston, and more. Backed by highly trained associates eager to help. Upgrade with Appliance Canada. Find a showroom in Toronto, Vaughan, or Mississauga at appliancecanada.com.
Do you work hard to grow your business, but it's just not happening? Tired of putting in long hours only to be stuck in the same place? There is help. Numero Uno, the business growth experts, can increase your website's traffic to get you more customers so you can grow your business. Visit numerounoweb.ca and check their 4.9 out of 5 Google rating to see all the businesses who have used Numero Uno to get them more customers. Get the help you need to grow your business today at numerounoweb.ca.
We make sure you're the first to know.
680 News. Right now in downtown Toronto, it is overcast and 3 degrees. 2 at Pearson. 680 News time is midnight.
Number 1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News, Toronto.
Here are Scott Burnett and Caitlin Lee.
Good morning. This is Tuesday, February 4th.
Here's what's making news this hour.
Hong Kong officials declaring the region's first death from coronavirus as cases surpass 20,000 worldwide.
A Frank turns into an arrest for a WestJet passenger. Peel Regional Police say a flight heading to Montego Bay turned around after a man stood up and announced he had the coronavirus.
It's not the outcome some were hoping for. A man pleads guilty to manslaughter nearly a decade after getting behind the wheel as a teen and dragging a York police officer to his death. Frustrated at the pace of negotiations with the union representing city workers, the City of Toronto requests a no-board report, the clock ticking towards a potential lockout.
Goalie Freddie Anderson leaves the game injured. The Maple Leafs collapse and the Raptors looking to make franchise history this week. Sports at 15.
Will it be a magical day for Walt Disney? Investors are preparing for first quarter results today. Snap's also said to report with some U.S. economic data on the way as Bay and Wall Street come off a winning session.
680 News time, 12:01.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Carolyn Donahue.
This report's brought to you by Alternate Savings. Right now, the roads conditions have gotten a lot better since that 400 situations cleared up. So just once again, for those of you listening to earlier reports, there is no longer any construction going on the northbound 400 north of King Road. Everything is moving fine and all of the delays have cleared. Also, the ramps to 89 have reopened. We just have at Dunlop a left lane blocked off. Otherwise, if you're on the westbound 401 this morning, we do have a Bayview, the collector to express transfer shut down for maintenance. And at Leslie in the collectors, we have 3 left lanes now closed off for some construction, but I've just been monitoring that area. There's no delays at this time, so that's good to go. Eastbound on the 401, the northbound McCowan ramp to that highway is blocked off for this time just for some construction. And then at Kingston Road in Ajax, in the express, there's 2 left lanes blocked off as well. If you're westbound on the QEW right now, we have at Winston Churchill Boulevard, 2 left lanes are blocked off. And southbound on the 427 at Finch, we have a right lane closed, and then the westbound Finch ramp to the southbound 427 is closed as well. And off of our major routes over in Brampton, east and westbound Queen is down to a single lane east of Mississauga Road. And then in Ajax, north and southbound Westney from Ritchie to Kingston Road is closed in both directions due to a collision. Saving for retirement doesn't have to be scary. Talk to an advisor at Alternate Savings about the best plan for you. Visit alternate.ca to book an appointment. Alternate Savings, discover the good in banking. Your next report is at 12:11, and with the forecast, Adam Stiles.
Today, 1 to 3, 2, 1.
Patchy freezing drizzle and drizzle expected through the early morning hours here across the GTA. If the road looks wet, it may be slick, so drive accordingly. By the afternoon, we're heading up to a high temperature of 3 degrees, and we have some sunshine breaking throughout the afternoon. Today, we're looking at winds out of the northwest up to 35 kilometers per hour. Today, a high temperature of 3 in the forecast.
Right now in downtown Toronto, it is 3 degrees and overcast, 2 at Pearson. 680 News Time, 12:03.
Hong Kong reporting its first death from coronavirus. A 39-year-old man who had traveled from Wuhan. The death toll worldwide now sitting at 427, while there are now over 20,000 confirmed cases.
Despite those numbers, not everyone is taking the illness seriously. Here at home, Peel Regional Police have made an arrest after a man stood up on a plane and announced he had coronavirus. 680's Phil Martino joins us with more.
WestJet Flight 2702 had taken off from Pearson and was heading to Montego Bay, but it never made it there because Peel Regional Police Constable Bancroft Wright says halfway through the flight, a man stood up and advised crew and passengers that he had been in China and that he had the coronavirus.
The announcement was shared to the flight captain by the crew, and a decision was made to return the flight back to Pearson.
Police say it turned out to be a prank, and the man was taken into custody. WestJet spokesperson Morgan Bell says they sincerely apologize to the 243 guests who were affected by the situation.
We're hoping to have them on their way on an extra segment flight.
A 29-year-old Thornhill man has been charged with mischief. His name is not being released. I'm Phil Martino.
The federal government, meantime, expanding its evacuation plans and says it's waiting for final approvals from Chinese authorities before it can fly hundreds of Canadians out of the Wuhan region, the epicenter of the outbreak.
One plane is on standby in Vietnam, and the feds have now chartered a second plane to help 304 Canadians get out of the lockdown region in China. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says they're still waiting for the green light from Chinese authorities. It's both health and safety steps that have to be gone through. A majority of the Canadians looking to flee are full citizens. The rest are permanent residents. Foreign Affairs Minister Francois-Philippe Champagne says China is not letting our permanent residents board the flight unless it's for family unity.
So when there's a child, if the primary caregiver is a permanent resident, they would allow that child, which is Canadian, with the primary caregiver to come.
Passengers will be screened multiple times throughout the trip, and when they arrive back in Canada, they'll be quarantined for 2 weeks at CFB Trenton. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
680 News Time, 12:05. A nearly decade-long legal saga has come to an end after a crash that killed a York police officer and left the driver a quadriplegic. 680's Karen Seolan has the story.
The young offender responsible for the death of Constable Garrett Stiles almost 10 years ago has pleaded guilty to manslaughter. It was back in June 2011 that Stiles pulled over a minivan. Behind the wheel was a 15-year-old boy, who we can now only identify as SK. During the traffic stop, SK hit the gas, dragging Stiles for about 300 meters before the van rolled over and crushed him. SK was sentenced to 2 years probation with several conditions placed on his operation of a motor vehicle. York Regional Police Association President Rob O'Quinn tells 680 News this is not the outcome they were hoping for.
The hope would be that the courts would stick to the fact that it was a conviction for first-degree murder.
SK was previously convicted of first-degree murder in 2015, but the conviction was overturned. I'm Karen Seolan.
680 News Time, 12:06. Toronto police investigating after a vehicle was shot at while driving in North York. It happened around 8 o'clock on Monday night on Eglinton near Leslie. Police tell 680 News they have found evidence of gunfire, but no injuries.
You're listening to 680 News at 12:07. Happening now, a portion of Line 2, the Bloor Danforth line, has shut down early. There is no service between Keele and Ossington because of track work. The early closure starts tonight and goes until Thursday. Shuttle buses are running instead.
Talks breaking up between the province and the union representing English Catholic school teachers. Today's planned province-wide strike of Catholic teachers from kindergarten to grade 12 will now go ahead as planned. It's the same day the union representing high school teachers planned to resume its own series of rotating strikes, including York Region and Halton. Public elementary teachers will also be striking in several boards, including Peel and Durham.
680 News Time, 12:07. Full-page newspaper ads that slam the teachers' unions and support the Doug Ford government showed up at Ontario door-fronts and mailboxes over the weekend. Now the NDP has asked Elections Ontario to track down who exactly made and paid for the ads. Here's 680's Mark Douglas.
Somebody with money.
The logo on the ads say they come from a group called Vaughan Working Families. That group, however, does not appear to exist.
Who's placing these full-page ads? Who's helping them? Who's guiding them? And who's funding them?
The NDP's Taras Nadashak, the ethics and accountability critic, says the ads violate Elections Ontario regulations for political advertisement.
Well, I've written to Elections Ontario to request that the commissioner immediately investigates.
Elections Ontario tells me they do not comment on whether they're investigating any given complaint. Education Minister Stephen Lecce's spokesperson sent us a one-sentence statement saying only, quote, the government was not aware of the advertisements and not familiar with the group Vaughan Working Families, unquote. From Queen's Park, I'm Mark Douglas.
More labor trouble brewing, this time with the city.
They sent them a complete sentence because you can't really send less than
launches
8
a countdown
sentences.
towards a potential work stoppage beginning in the third week of February. QB416, the union representing Toronto's outside workers in the city, have been bargaining for more than 4 months. According to the city, job security, wages, benefits, and parental leave are the issues on the table. Brad Ross with the City of Toronto says the decision to request a new board report was made after multiple meetings with a conciliation officer.
While we made a little bit of progress here and there, we were unable to make progress on those outstanding issues.
The president of QP416, however, says, quote, the city wants a contract that creates two-tiered job security provisions and paves the way for privatization and contracting out of services that the people of Toronto rely on, unquote. They've been without a contract since December 31st. I'm Michelle Mackey.
Coming up in 30 seconds, we'll check on the price of the pumps.
680 News Time, 12:09.
This is 680 News.
Switch from your current alarm provider today and save. The Monitoring Center reviews say it all. Join the tens of thousands of homeowners who wish they had switched to the Monitoring Center sooner. Call us today or visit us at themonitoringcenter.com for a free quotation and start saving now. Think security? Think the Monitoring Center. Why? Because we care.
Now the 680 News gas price update. Emperor predicted no change at midnight, holding at $1.09.9 a liter.
680 News Time, 12:10.
The holidays are over and it's time to take care of all those bills. Don't go to a payday loan company. Go to borrowwithyourcar.com. If you have equity in your car or home, go to the front of the line for fast approval on a loan up to $35,000. Car and homeowners, remember,
just one click. Borrowwithyourcar.com.
you get great rates on a loan that actually works towards improving your credit score. Remember Prudent Financial, your trusted equity lender since 1984.
Borrowwithyourcar.com.
The cold, savage winds are upon us. And only
Savage.
Hyundai can save us now. The last fully the heated seats, heated steering wheels, and fully promote standards. Don't fear winter. Love it. From the warmth of a new Hyundai. During Mississauga and Rexdale Hyundai's iHeart Winter event, enjoy no-charge all-wheel drive or don't pay for 90 days on select models.
Get all-wheel drive in a Hyundai?
Existing owners get up to $750 in loyalty incentives. Get the super deal from the Superfan now. Visit MississaugaHyundai.com and RexdaleHyundai.ca.
680 News Time, 12:11.
Traffic and weather together on the ones. Carolyn Donahue.
This report's brought to you by Marquee Jewelers. Not too much happening on the major routes right now since that problem on the 400 is cleared up. We have no delays across the GTA, but we do have a bunch of construction, so we'll get to that. On the eastbound 401, you're not going to have access to that highway from the northbound McCowan ramp. That's closed off for some maintenance. At Kingston Road out in Ajax on the east 401, in the express lanes, there's 2 left lanes closed, and that's once again for construction. On the westbound 401 at Bayview, the collector to express transfers blocked off for some maintenance. And then at Leslie, the collectors, we have 3 left lanes closed off. Now, we're not seeing any delays there right now, and I don't think we will. So that seems like it's good to go through that stretch. If you're on the westbound QEW, once you hit Winston Churchill, you'll find 2 left lanes that are blocked off for some construction work. Southbound on the 427 at Finch, we have a right lane closed, and then the westbound Finch ramp to the highway is shut down as well.
Nothing says I love you more than a stunning diamond ring from Marquee Jewelers. Visit today for an amazing selection at 40 to 70% off. Don't miss out. 2 Bloor Street West at Yonge. Your next report's coming up at 12:21, and with the forecast, here's Adam Stiles.
Looking at patchy freezing drizzle in the early morning hours, and drizzle if it doesn't quite get cold enough to turn it over to freezing drizzle. A high of 3 in the forecast, and we're looking at a mainly cloudy afternoon. Northwest winds up to about 35 kilometers per hour. Brief chance of some lake effect snow for the snow belts as we go overnight tonight and into the morning tomorrow. We're going to start the day near -6, heading up to a high of -2 and a partly cloudy sky. Today we have a high temperature of 3 in the forecast with that freezing drizzle risk early.
Right now in downtown Toronto, we're sitting at 3 degrees and overcast. It's 2 and overcast at Pearson. 680 news time, 12:13.
The Rolling Stones teasing motorists across North America. Fans began posting pics on social media today showing electronic billboards with the iconic lips and tongue logo and song titles and lines like "Let's spend the night together," "Get what you need," and "Miss you." According to the post, they've appeared in Charlotte, Buffalo, and Pittsburgh. No official dates have been posted as of yet for the 2020 North American leg of the band's No Filter tour. However, presumptive dates and locations have been making the rounds, with Vancouver the only rumored Canadian date on the tour. Coming up in 60 seconds, we'll recap your top stories.
This is 680 News.
Northwood Mortgage people work harder to find solutions just for you. One example, Northwood regularly helps families get into new homes after the bank has turned them down. Unlike the big banks, Northwood Mortgage is more flexible. Northwood Mortgage listens and works harder to create a solution that's customized for you. Northwood Mortgage. Visit northwoodmortgage.com.
We're working harder for you.
License 10349.
Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Active Freedom Ross.
Active Freedom Ross wants you to get out and enjoy winter. Visit your local tire and service experts and save $100 on a set of Michelin Excise tires until February 29th. Plus, get 3 years of free roadside assistance. We will not be undersold, so
keep it rolling. Active Freedom Ross.
See store for details.
This is All News Radio, 680 News.
And mostly cloudy sky, overcast in fact in downtown Toronto, 3 degrees. Good morning from the 680 News Broadcast Center. I'm Scott Burnett.
And I'm Caitlin Lee. Here are the top stories this hour.
As Hong Kong announces its first death from coronavirus, and cases worldwide surpassed 20,000, a 29-year-old Thornhill man taking it less than seriously after he stood up on a flight from Toronto to Montego Bay this afternoon and shouted that he had coronavirus. The plane turned around. The man was taken into custody and charged with mischief. No service this hour on a stretch of Line 2, the Bourdain Fourth Line. Service ending early from Kiel to Ossington for scheduled track work. This same early closure going into place Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights as well, starting at 11 p.m. And the partly symbolic all-die-hard Iowa caucuses continue this hour as members of the state's political parties discuss who they want to represent them in the upcoming election. But there has been a lengthy delay in counting the Democratic vote, leaving candidates to take to the podium and spout rhetoric into the wee morning hours. Time for 680 Sports. For that, we go Sportsnet 590 The Van. Andy McNamara.
Thank you very much. Well, the Maple Leafs look to be in full control of the Panthers to begin the third period.
Hyman rolls it in front, they score! Austin Matthews! Number 37 on the year, one away from the NHL's lead.
Joe Bull with the call on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. That made it 3-1 Toronto, but then the wheels fell off as Florida scored 4 unanswered goals to win 5-3. Leafs lost goaltender Freddie Anderson with an upper body injury at the end of the first period. Other blue and white tallies came from Tavares and Nylander. They'll battle the Rangers in New York next on Wednesday. Finals in the NHL. Stars beat the Rangers 5-3. Flyers shut out Detroit 3-0. And Raptors head coach Nick Nurse was named the Eastern Conference Coach of the Month for January. They'll get back on the floor Wednesday against Indiana. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca/590.
680 News Time, 12:17.
Does your credit card debt keep you up at night? I know mine did. Hi, I'm Adam, and 6 years ago, I was no different, so I started Newboro. Our proven step-by-step system helps homeowners eliminate debt and save thousands, like Tina.
Now I sleep at night, my debts are paid off, and I only make one monthly payment.
Read hundreds of other 5-star Google reviews and apply today to start saving.
Use your home to get a loan with Newboro.
Visit newboro.com. License 13115.
Hello, I'm Daryl Hayashi, a former tax auditor. Over the years, I've become more of a tax therapist than just an accountant for many of my clients. Let me assist you in resolving your long-term personal or corporate tax problems with Revenue Canada. I know how hard it can be for you, but I'm here to help. Call me at 416-751-TAX7. That's 416-751-TAX7, or email me at taxaudit@rogers.com.
680 News Time, 12:18. Well, happening right now in Iowa, as mentioned, Democratic presidential candidates are awaiting the results of the Iowa caucus. Iowa, the first opportunity for party members to vote on who they want to represent them in a general election against President Donald Trump. The Iowa Democratic Party saying the results have been delayed because of unspecified quality checks. Senator Bernie Sanders is considered one of the frontrunners.
At some point, the results will be announced. And when those results are announced, I have a good feeling we're going to be doing very, very well here in Iowa.
Officials say technology issues appear to be contributing to that delay as well. A woman has been taken to hospital after being struck by a vehicle in North York. It happened around 6:45 Monday evening at Bathurst in Invermay, north of Wilson. Paramedics say the woman suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries. We're now hearing the 911 calls reporting the crash of a helicopter which was carrying NBA legend Kobe Bryant and 8 others.
It was a foggy morning in Calabasas when 911 calls began coming in.
Helicopter crashed into a mountain.
Now hearing those calls for the first time, witnesses report hearing and seeing an aircraft hit the hillside.
Plane in the clouds, we couldn't see it, then we just heard a boom.
And caller Scott Dalen told 911 what he heard.
It went over my head, it's thick and cloud, and then I heard a pop, and it immediately stopped.
Moments later, rescue teams would find the remains of the helicopter on fire. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
A leaked recording suggesting an Iranian air traffic controller and an Iranian pilot knew right away that it was a missile that shot down a Ukrainian airliner near Tehran, killing all 176 people on board, including 57 Canadians. The recording was broadcast by a Ukrainian TV channel and has been verified by Ukraine's president and the head of the Iranian investigation team. On the tape, the pilot describes witnessing something resembling a missile being fired, followed by a mid-air explosion. The government of Iran denied for days that it was a missile, but then later admitted it. Coming up in 60 seconds, traffic, your extended forecast, and
get ready for Hamilton, the movie starring the original cast. I'm ABC's Jason Nathanson with more on that coming up.
680 News Time, 12:20.
Catholic teachers are fighting to preserve one of the best education systems in the world. We want to give every student a chance to succeed. The Ford government is overcrowding classrooms and destroying opportunities for students. We need to stop them before it gets worse. Critical thinking is one of the most important skills we teach. How to separate fact from spin. Don't fall for this government's misinformation. No more. Visit knrwmore.ca to help us reverse the cuts. A message from the Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association.
Everybody's got money for advertising.
News Time, 12:21. Traffic and weather together on the ones to the traffic center we go. Carolyn Donahue.
Thanks, Scott. This report's brought to you by Marquee Jewelers. It's a pretty simple night out there on the major routes. We do have some construction, but it shouldn't be impacting your drive too much. Just a few ramp closures you might want to know about. The northbound McCowan ramp headed onto the eastbound 401 is shut down at this time. And then also on the East 401 at Kingston Road in Ajax, you'll find 2 left lanes in the express closed down for some construction work. Westbound on the 401
1 at Bayview, the Collector 2 express transfer is blocked off. And then at Leslie and the Collectors, 3 left lanes are actually closed off. But we're not seeing any delays at this time. But if you want to avoid that, just stick into the express. We also do have on the northbound 400 at Dunlop up in Barrie, just the left lane closed off. Southbound on the 400 at Bayfield, the left lane is closed off there. If you're traveling westbound on the Gardner at the 427, 2 right lanes are closed. No delays at this time. Then further on the west QEW at Winston Churchill Boulevard, 2 left lanes are blocked off there as well. Eastbound QEW, the ramp to the 403 has a left lane blocked off. And then southbound 427 at Finch, a right lane closed. And then the westbound Finch ramp to the southbound 427 is blocked as well. Find the perfect gift for your Valentine at Marquee Jewelers Retirement Sale. Get 40 to 70% off all fine jewelry. Visit 2 Bloor Street West inside the Cumberland Terrace now. Your next report's at 12:31 with the forecast. Adam Stiles.
We're looking at a mainly cloudy sky during the afternoon, but in the morning hours today, there is the risk of some drizzle, turning over to freezing drizzle, especially in the higher elevations. Use caution throughout the early morning hours. By the afternoon, peaks of sunshine, high of 3 degrees, northwest wind up to 35 kilometers per hour. Temperatures cool off overnight. We could see a brief round of lake effect snow in our snowbelt regions. After that, it'll be a partly cloudy sky during the day tomorrow, -6 to start with a high of -2 in the forecast. Thursday, this day could be tricky here across the GTA. Looks like we could see some snow to start things off during the morning commute, and then a freezing rain potential sliding in throughout the afternoon hours. Both commutes could be impacted by this potential weather scenario. Air travel could also be impacted. It's one that we'll need to keep a close eye on over the next couple of days. We have a high of 1 degree in the forecast. Today, drizzle and freezing drizzle, then a mainly cloudy afternoon with a high of 3 degrees.
Right now in downtown Toronto, we've got mostly cloudy sky, overcast. In fact, 3 degrees, the wind chill setting at -1. At Pearson this hour, overcast and 1 feeling like -4. Remember, 680 News is the only Toronto radio station with a weather guarantee. Our jackpot for today, wow, it just keeps on climbing. $14,300. Would you like a chance at that cash? Easy. Go to 680news.com/contests. Counting up at 12:30 as Hong Kong announces its first death from coronavirus and cases worldwide surpass 20,000. A Thorn Hill man thought it was a good idea to stand up on a WestJet flight this afternoon and falsely claim he had the illness. That prank landing him a mischief charge and a court date next month. Our Phil Martino will have the latest straight ahead. 680 News Time, 12:24.
Buying a new home? Then Caitlin Homes has a variety of innovative incentive offers for you. Choose from a selection of Caitlin inventory homes and offers that best suit your unique needs, like 0% interest, exclusive Caitlin Homes rebates up to $40,000, or one of their rent-to-own programs. Yes, you can own a new home in Bowmanville, but these incentives won't last long. Limited inventory available. For more details, visit CaitlinCorp.com. Certain conditions apply.
How much of these fucking houses?
Is always changing. Now more than ever.
Listen 3, 4, 5 times a day.
This is 680 News.
Ask for us on your smart speaker.
680 News Time, 12:25. An award-winning musical goes from Broadway to the big screen.
You'll have to wait a little while longer, but Hamilton will be in theaters with the original Broadway cast, including creator and star Lin-Manuel Miranda. But don't expect a movie version like recent films Cats or Les Miserables. In New York, you can be a new man. It'll be a filmed performance of the stage musical, which was shot in New York in 2016. And Disney, which will be distributing the movie, says it'll combine the best elements of live theater and film. It'll be out in October 2021.
I'll do it. As headmaster of St. Andrews College in Aurora, I'm often asked by parents why our school is right for their son.
The second you enter, you know you're a part of something truly amazing. There are tons of arts and extracurricular activities.
71 teams, 21 sports. There are so many opportunities to become a leader. 100% of our students are accepted to university.
The teachers sincerely care. They push you to do your best.
And I have brothers for life.
Experience for yourself what a St. Andrews College Day or boarding program can offer your son. Join us for our open house on February 8th.
Details at sac.on.ca.
You know how my brother moved his investments to Questrade? I think it's a smart move for us, too.
Investing online? Not sure we're those people.
Those people pay way lower fees. 0.5% versus the 2% we pay.
That's 4 times lower.
Over time, that could be life-changing.
Save your retirement. See how you can retire wealthier with the Quest Wealth Portfolio's RRSP at questrade.com.
Business report. Good morning, Carl Garnish.
Good morning. Investors are preparing for first quarter results from Walt Disney today. Analysts say there is a focus on early returns from its Disney Plus streaming service, as well as the potential impact the coronavirus could have in China. The company has already announced that it will expand Disney Plus to Western Europe earlier than expected, moving the launch into the second quarter, which means it will now affect the outlook for the current period. However, this comes as Disney closed its Shanghai theme park on January 25th due to the virus, with no date given for when it could reopen. U.S. shares of Walt Disney rose 2.1% in Monday trading. It was a winning day for Bay and Wall Street. The TSX finished higher for the first time in 3 days. It was up by 61 points, 17,379. Stateside, the Dow and NASDAQ finished higher for the fourth time in 5 sessions. The Dow rose 143 points, 28,399. NASDAQ gained 1.3% or 122 points, 9,273, with the S&P adding 23 points, 3,248. It's now time for the Express Gold Refining XAU.ca gold price update. It fell $5.50, finishing at $1,582. A 4-day slide for oil, it dropped to its lowest level in more than a year, sinking 2.8%, closing at $50.11 a barrel. Canadian crude index down 2.5% to finish above $31 a barrel. Canadian dollar moved with gold and oil. It fell 28 1/100 cent, closing at 75.26 cents U.S. Economists are preparing for U.S. factory orders for December, and earnings are expected from Snap. With more on what's to come today, here's Bloomberg's Larry Kosky.
Google also suffered over the holidays from the Amazon effect. Google's search website and YouTube lost online ad spending to Amazon, and Google's parent company Alphabet was also hurt by its divisions working on biotech and self-driving cars. Both were big money losers. Larry Kosky, Bloomberg Radio.
At the Business Center, I'm Carl Garnash.
Every day, Canadians are buying homes and getting the wrong mortgage rates. Important announcement. If you have a home mortgage closing in the next 60 days, 2.48% 5-year fixed mortgage rates are available at butlermortgage.ca. No matter what you were told or what you signed, you can still switch to 2.48% 5-year fixed. No gimmicks, no fees. Standard mortgage rates at 2.48% 5-year fixed. To learn if you qualify, go to butlermortgage.ca now.
License number 12118. High ratio fixed rate APR 2.49%.
You've been diagnosed with depression and can't work. Your disability insurer denies your claim and has never sent you to see a doctor. Think this can't happen? Think again. My name is Aaron Weibsman, and if your long-term disability claim is denied for any reason, call me at 416-661-4878. And don't worry about upfront legal fees, because there are none. At my law firm, my lawyers only get paid when you get paid and before you call. You should always remember that there are no bad questions. 416-661-4878 or on your cell phone at pound LTD.
Downtown Toronto, overcast and 1 degree. Have a great morning. I'm Scott Burnett. It's 12:30.
Number 1 for news in Toronto. This is 680 News.
Good morning. This is Tuesday, February the 4th. I'm Veronica Thor.
And I'm Asher Roth. Here's what's making news right now.
As cases of the deadly coronavirus surpasses 20,000 worldwide, officials in Hong Kong now declaring the first death in that region.
A WestJet flight bound for Montego Bay returns to Toronto after a man stands up and tells the crew and passengers that he had the coronavirus.
Police now know how 3 young men were killed after a weekend party at a downtown Airbnb turned violent. Toronto's 5,000 outside workers could find themselves locked out or on strike in 3 weeks. The countdown is on as the city of Toronto requests a no more report.
The Leafs lose more than just the game, and Raptors head coach Nick Nurse is the NBA's Eastern Conference Coach of the Month. Sports at 45. Some new data was included in the latest earnings report from Google's parent company. Walt Disney and Snap are set to release quarterly results today as North American markets come off a winning session.
680 News Time, 12:31.
Time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Good morning, Harleen Donahue.
Good morning, Veronica and Asher. This report is brought to you by the 407 ETR. It is a pretty smooth drive out there on the major routes right now. Can't really complain. We just have some construction